Put the music back on.
put Tank back on.
Okay.
Fucking love that song. I was telling this guy right here about
Me.
That era of anime was actually just so good. Like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Outlaw Star. It was dope. Anyways, for you guys out there, if you guys were wondering who the fuck we are and why we're on Scarra's channel, this is PLT, but this is the pre-show. So welcome.
Welcome to the pre-show.
Yeah. So
we talk
basically,
about random shit, right?
Yeah. The pre-show, we just talk about random shit. We wait for Scarra and Mark to get their asses over here to start the actual show, which is where they talk about LCS stuff. But till then, you guys are stuck with us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is where the real show is.
This is what your girl's favorite show right here, the pre-show. This is what everyone really wants to see. PPLT.
PPLT. Shit, that's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly, right? I stole it from Kick Sidebot. Play Melee for us.
I'm awful at Melee. You probably just trash me over and over.
I mean, I actually could set it up just like on the side of the screen, like because I have my adapter so I can plug it into Mark's laptop because we stream everything off of Mark's Alienware here.
We're not sponsored, don't.
Oh yeah. Sorry. We're not sponsored. So if anyone wants to sponsor us, we're taking offers.
You know
But yeah, so let's talk about the biggest thing that happened this week in the league scene, which is obviously Team Liquid's roster changes.
Reset the mark timer.
Oh shit, that's right. Fuck.
Fucking idiot. Fucking.
I always forget to do that.
God, you're fired.
I'm fired. I was never hired to begin with.
I don't get paid for this shit.
I don't get paid for this shit. Not until we get sponsored, so if anyone wants to sponsor us.
What about me? I'm not getting paid even when we get sponsored.
That's true.
Someone pay me, you fucker.
But yeah, so sponsors aside, Double Lift and Adrian are now part of Team Liquid.
That shit was wild. I didn't even know. I mean, technically I shouldn't know because I'm just like the social media guy for it. But yeah, I was like, it was like suddenly in the chat that it's like, I don't even think any of the social media people knew. It was just suddenly in the chat. It's like, oh, we got Double Lift now, and I'm like, oh shit, we do have Double Lift now. So it was kind of weird for me, but yeah, I saw them yesterday, and it wasn't that bad. We still kind of lost. Nice Draven pick. It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I made a nice meme off it on their Twitter, and I'm like, yeah. But that was pretty much it. Shit on that game.
Yeah, they everyone's like, oh my god, they have a chance against. Nah,
clean the camera lens.
Really. Is the camera lens all messed up?
Clean the lens. Fucking Josh, do everything.
Is it messed up? I can't tell if it's messed up. Whatever. It's actually just how I look. I just look smudged all the time.
You know, really smoke a huge blunt. Why is everyone say I'm high? I'm not even high today. I mean, ever. I mean, I'm not high ever.
Whoa, slipped. Oh my god, it's been confirmed. Oh my god.
Oh, whatever. Fucking set myself. I set myself up. But fuck. Yeah. Adrian too. Shit was random. I didn't even see the Adrian thing coming. That was like, it was like, oh, we got Adrian too. I'm like, what? I guess we got Adrian too. He even play. I didn't even see him at all, actually. But whatever. It settles that thing with P1. I even know that was a thing. Did you know that was a thing with P1 where it's like, apparently there was an interview with Adrian and he was just like, yeah, it feels pretty good to play with a jungler that has a brain now.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, dude, who says that shit?
Oh my god.
Chill out, Adrian. What the fuck? He's your teammate.
I just like can't believe how some people just like get away with being just like the worst teammates. Like when people actually shit talk their own teammates like in an interview and stuff, it's like, dude,
that was a little too much.
Yeah.
That's definitely something you don't say.
They're already setting up for the next season of Team Liquid's. What's it called? What's that series called?
Oh, so it would be P1's Breaking Point.
Yeah. P1's Breaking. But now that Team Liquid has them, it's going to be Breaking Point, the sequel. This time featuring Piglet, Double Lift, and Adrian.
That'd be lit, actually.
Yeah. Fuck. They just go in on each other. Dardoch makes a guest appearance, you know.
Dardoch comes back, starts throwing hands too. Fuck. That is a good idea.
Return of the Dardoch.
That's what it's called. Breaking Point 2, Return of the Dardoch. What else?
Yeah, so let's see. What else happened this week in league scene stuff? there were some skins announced that I think are for April Fools.
Yeah.
And, you know, people really like the Alistar one, the Renekton one.
I know the Alistar one.
Yeah, the Alistar one's actually so good.
I can imagine just tilting, like just recalling and like just laning, and he just starts dancing with the stupid ass cow.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna start tilting, dude. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I'm gonna stop.
And then there's finally Pugma. And I want to know in chat, okay, if you guys love Pugma, press 1. If you guys hate Pugma, press 2. I'm on the 2 side.
Dude, everyone loves that skin.
I think it's so stupid.
It's a dog in the game. Who doesn't
But,
love
like,
dogs?
They should have made it like he's wearing a dog costume. I don't understand why they're actually making him a dog. Like,
yeah.
What if they had made like the Meowkai skin? Like, what if he was just a cat? What if he was just a cat?
That'd be fucking creepy as hell.
You're right. It would just like doesn't make any sense. He like
it's just a cat that's standing on 2 feet.
Like tosses like other cats.
That's actually terrifying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, technically, Alice starts the same shit, right? Where he's like, well, technically he's a bull. He's supposed to be a cow, and he's wearing a cow suit. Yeah. But Kog'Maw is a that, and he's a bug. He's not. Yeah, I guess that would be kind of cute. I can imagine that.
God, yeah, I don't know. I just think that, like, in general, I don't know. I'm not down with the skin, but that said, I know Riot's making $1 billion. This is probably like one of their they're looking at the charts and they're like, oh my god, we're dying, man. Like, we're losing players. What can we do? They're like, oh shit, people love pugs, man. We gotta make a pug skin. Pugma, we got it. They like have like an emergency glass window thing with like a skin ideas behind it. Like dude, they're like, oh, that's it. It's Pugma. They're gonna make billions of dollars. They're gonna make billions. Like, legitimately, I feel like so many people are gonna be playing that fucking skin, and it's just gonna tilt me. It just looks so stupid.
The emergency funds idea. That's so fucking fun. Riot literally has like a glass case. Shit, we need more money. Bam. It's just a fucking poke.
The next skin is obviously going to be a corgi, because that would, you know, it just goes down the list of things that people love on the internet.
A full dog team.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be fucking awesome. No,
people are gonna love that shit. Yeah, deploy the emergency legendary Ari skin. They're like, oh shit, we need money. Legendary Ari skin, it's pool party Ari. It's like, Jesus.
You're actually so right. They probably do have that somewhere, dude. They're like, shit, we just spent a lot of money on Worlds. We need some more money, boys.
Yeah, oh man.
Release pool party Ari. You got it, boys. Money just falls from the sky.
Yeah, it just rains money.
That's how it was with like Champion Zed, right? Like, I feel like Zed was like one of those skins that people love Zed, and it's like champion skin for Zed. So much. Didn't they raise like $2 million off 25% of it?
Oh yeah.
They made 25%, and that's $2 million. Do the
like
math.
that skin isn't even like that good. It like has like the throne thing, which is cool. The throne thing is cool,
but that's it.
But that's it. They made that much money off of just that. Yeah.
Here comes the money.
A fly running around.
Oh, chill out, Samurai Jack.
Caught it between
tonight,
two chopsticks.
Right?
Yeah, Samurai Jack is coming back tonight. Have you ever actually like went back and rewatched like old Samurai Jack?
I remember like skimming through it when I was young, but I never actually went back and watched it all. You?
It's worth watching again just because like the art style is so good. Actually, like I'm a big sucker for like cinematography and just like things that look cool.
Me too, dude. I just love appreciating the artwork and the cinematography.
Man, that sounds like it's coming straight out of your ass.
I just love the artwork.
It's just great, man. It's just
really
great.
speaks to me.
But no, like Samurai Jack, I'm actually pretty excited about it coming back.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just mentioned Ari in a bikini, and people are like, "Oh my god, I didn't know I wanted it so much." Yeah.
I bet there's a bunch of people. I'd never buy that skin. That's just sexist. You just don't respect women if you buy that skin, but there's just so much money in it.
Maybe you respect women more for buying the skin because you're like, she's proud of her body. She has a right to be proud. Everyone should be proud of her.
Next conversation.
Yeah, all right. Skip.
All right. What about the Nintendo Switch thing? This trend, this fucking random trend, I don't get it at all. That people lick the cartridge and it's like, it tastes bad. Whose idea was that? Who's the retard who's just like, I'm gonna lick this? You know what I should do? Lick this.
So I think all of that just started from someone saying that like the cartridges are like lick proof or something. So then of course everyone's like, fuck man, thank God they didn't make it like anal proof, because then everyone would be putting up
Anal
pictures
proof.
of like putting it into their ass like.
Anal proof shit.
Like I don't
Is
understand.
it anal proof?
I don't know. We should test.
Vibe?
Now we have to test it out. But
yeah, but I don't know. God, there's actually one person who licked that shit and then tweeted, "Yo, this shit not taste good," and people are like, "Does not taste good? No taste good," and it just blew up.
Yeah,
God, the trends like those are just so retarded.
It's so dumb. Oh God. Yeah.
Is there only actually one game for the Nintendo Switch right now? No, there's like
there's like a couple. There's like
games,
3
right?
games, I think. Like legitimately 3 games. There's like I don't know what else there is.
Is the ARMS game out?
Is
I've
ARMS out?
I've actually seen people play only one game, and it's crazy too because the Switch is actually just sold out everywhere. No one can find shit. Everyone has to go on fucking Craigslist and be like.
And people are like upcharging really hard. Like people, I saw someone was selling it for like $500. Like fuck no, I'm not paying $500.
Dude, I wonder how much people are actually paying for that shit. I've seen like at least 3 LCS players who went on Craigslist and found it.
Yeah, I mean, people have been saying that like the Zelda game is like legitimately one of the best games they've ever fucking played. Like I knew going in like the game was supposed to be like really fucking good or whatever, and then I saw the Donkey video on it, and like that like blew my mind how like crazy it was.
So they put bitter agent on it so small children won't eat it. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense then, because like random fucking little kids just want to put everything in their goddamn mouth, so they made it bitter, so they'll be like, ew, I don't want to put this in my mouth. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I don't feel like I don't feel as retarded, but still, stop licking the goddamn cartridge.
Does that actually work? Like, did they like test this? Did they like go and like put like a sample size of some kids into a room and they're like, eat this shit, little kid?
Just put 5 babies. Does the baby choke on this cartridge?
Yeah.
No, I just assume they just have. They just knew, right? I don't know.
I don't know. Boy described it as bitter. Yeah, whatever.
Boy.
I feel like kids are just gonna eat things regardless of how they taste. I feel like that's just how kids are. It's like dogs, dude. Dogs eat like their own shit.
I guess. Shit. Babies eat their own shit too.
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me.
No, they
don't. Babies are retarded.
I wasn't. I was a smart ass baby.
Last night I was coming back up on the elevator to the apartment, and this kid literally jammed her hand.
Oh my god!
Into the elevator, and
get ripped in half.
No, it wasn't that violent. But the dad was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You know, like being like, "What? Why would you think that's a good idea?" And all I could think about is like, it must suck to be a parent. Like your kid is just like actively trying to kill themselves, and you're like there to like try to stop them from doing it. Like it just sounds awful.
Holy shit. What else did we write down? Wait, what are the other games that happened? Oh yeah, FlyQuest. What happened, dude? I thought FlyQuest was gonna be like a top 3 team, but then maybe that's a little too optimistic. But they're my boys, dude. My boy Highland, my boy Lemon, Buck. Those are my boys, legit.
Yeah, FlyQuest. I don't know, man. Like they started the season strong against all expectations, and then this is kind of what we thought we would have seen early, right? People are like, well, they're not very good mechanically and blah, blah, blah. And, like, I feel like now they're, like, kind of exposing them a little bit as, like, fraudulent. Because, like, they just lose lanes so hard in every match.
High is, like, 0-4 in lane. It's like, goddamn.
Yeah. Like, their entire team, like, I think today, like, it looked like down the line everyone was 0-2. It's like, I don't know, man.
They start bringing this, like, random-ass picks, too, like... You know the Mordekaiser? I actually don't think it's the worst pick in the world. If you pair it up with like a melee, like a Blitzcrank, a Nautilus, that's like, you know, it actually works. You get so much healing off your W. You actually have a lot of all-in potential. But the way they like picked it, I think they blinded the Mord. And then the weirdest thing, the thing I was just was like, okay, Maokai's nerfed, so he's no longer like S tier, A tier, B tier, maybe.
Yeah.
So what they do is they pick Nautilus, right? And and before they use Nautilus as a flex pick, right?
They
put a top or support.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right. So
Makes a lot of sense.
They pick Nautilus. The enemy team picks. Fuck. What was? I think it was.
I don't remember the draft. So
some random fucking top laner, right? And so now they have perfect, right? They have the flex pick, so they're gonna pick something else to counter this pick, right?
Yeah.
But instead, they keep the Nautilus top and they pick support Maokai. And it was like, what? Why are we picking support Maokai? A nerfed support Maokai. That just blew my mind. And Maokai took Ignite too. So it's just like, what?
Yeah, FlyQuest. I want to know what drugs they're taking and where I can get some of my own because they're going deep in the strategy. I think Scarra is on his way. I think like he will be here. Oh, Scarra's here right now.
Okay, goodbye.
So
Time for
entertain this
everyone's favorite portion of the stream, the Yuna solo entertainment portion. What am I talking? Last time I like ranted about Earth. So this time, what do I rant about? Can I rant about like just 80 carry items in general?
Ninja Tabbies.
Yeah, I just talk about Ninja Tabbies forever. You want to talk about Edge of Night, dude? That item was like really good for assassins and like really good for 80 carries, and then they're like, "Fuck this item." That was actually that item is so goddamn bad now. It's so sad. You turn on Edge of Night and you're like, "Okay, let's do this, guys. I'm gonna walk," and it's gone in like fucking 4 seconds. It's so weird. The item feels absolutely fucking trash now, and it kind of tilts me because it's like I feel like a big problem right now is like the tanks can just get too tanky too quickly. Like, for example, Lucian got buffed this patch, right? His Q comes out a lot faster. You can, like, just everything comes out more fluid. You're just running around, dashing around and shit. It's really cool. But then, like, then the tank has Ninja Tabbies and Sunfire, and you could be 3-item 80 carry, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's just too fucking tanky. You can never kite him. It's just depressing. So I don't know why the fuck they're like, you know what we gotta nerf first? The ADs. They're just okay, don't get me wrong. Okay, maybe nerf Varus. My god, Varus is just mega cancer champion. Unplayable. You can't play against that shit. He's 2 screens away. You get queued at level fucking... He gets 1 back. He comes back with Dirk tier and it's over. You just can't do shit. Fuck you, chat. What else? Fuck. I don't know what else you want to talk about. What's interesting? I don't get it. Like, you guys don't play AD or some shit? Come on. Am I the only one that's fucking salty about this shit? Fuck you all. None of you play fucking AD. None of you know the goddamn struggle. This bullshit. Get fucking Ninja Tabs and it's over. You can't do shit. You have to play Jhin every game, or you play Ashe and you rush Essence Reaver and you're like, well, I have this ult and I have to CC people. That's it. That's all I'm ever good for. And now Ezreal's good. Thank fucking God. So the game actually fucking is kind of fun because you can do some shit, but it's still bullshit. Fuck you all. Talk about MF. Dude, MF, I think that pick's good. It's like A tier. I mean, it's not really fun either. It's just another one of those champs that's like, it kind of works like Fiddlesticks where people usually just forget about MF and they're like, okay, we can win this fight. And then she's hiding behind the wall, ults, and one-shots your team. It just works exactly like Fiddlesticks.
Alright, what stupid stuff have you been telling the stream?
I don't know what to talk about today, so I was just like, I just hate Ninja Tabbies.
Yeah, I feel like we've been on this topic for like years now.
Well, whose fucking fault is that?
Riot.
Fuck you, Riot.
Years. Alright, I'm ready.
Okay.
So what are we doing?
I got made fun of by the chat. Come here. What are we doing? You sit in the middle?
Yeah, move on over. And then when Mark arrives, so one half of the dynamic duo has arrived. Hello, welcome to post-league time pre-show. Yours truly, Scarra. Literally, you're looking at what I just wore on the analyst desk, so if you tuned in, I'm sorry, because you saw a really ugly Asian guy. But
Wow!
Stop studying on my notes!
Put him in a better place than the fucking couch. All right.
Alright. Oh yeah, this
things
is
got
romantic?
Little,
Oh, I know.
little intimate. Hey, how's it going?
I'm really close.
We moved the camera in closer, so I'm hoping that fixes some of the focus issues that we were having before. We need PLT shirts. We do need PLT shirts.
We
dude.
do need PLT shirts.
Oh.
Damn.
Hook me up, free merch.
So,
Yo.
just a face of you, and then me, and then...
And we just have a letter on our face, PLT.
What about me?
And you're just
I'm
in the
here
background.
every Saturday. How come I'm not involved?
Yeah, and Yuna too. He could be on the back, you know? No one looks at the back, so it's just like... The small Yuna in, like, the bottom left, the can corner of the shirt.
All right, so we were just talking about random shit. We were talking about, obviously, Double Lift joining, Adrian joining.
Did you talk about Stunt?
We
Or
didn't talk about Stunt or
You-
Swift.
Oh, you didn't talk about Swift?
Oh yeah, Swift.
Double Lift's
My
boy.
Swift.
Your boy?
No. Well, he's nice to me. I don't know if you guys know who Swift is. Swift is that guy. Well, I think a lot of people know about him actually.
Yeah,
he's the guy who always dueled with double lift. He played Thresh, and him and double lift were that highlight reel. They always get kills in lane. You know, the fucking montage ass clips. They're always in videos. But like, okay, I feel like I'm calling him out, but he kind of does deserve it a little bit. Off stream, that guy is fucking toxic as hell. Holy shit! If you say something to him, he will pop off on you. He'd be like, "You are fucking garbage. You are nothing compared to me." I'm one of those guys he likes, so I feel like I'm like that with a lot of people. But if you're on his bad side, dude, you just do not want to be on his fucking bad side. He's gonna start like trolling, like straight up.
He hates me, so.
Oh yeah, he hates Scarra. So.
Who is this guy? Is he the next? Is he Tyler too? Is that?
No,
is that
he's not that bad.
He's just like he's a Thresh player. I had them clarify today whether or not he's
shout outs to all the Thresh players.
There's so many. Like I feel like a lot of people start with Thresh because he's super fun, and they move on to other supports.
He's super fun and he can carry.
Right, and so like I feel like it's just like something that they start with. But I had some clarification, and apparently he's going to be like just another sub.
Oh, okay.
But he
wait, what team did he join?
Dig. So Special is just going to be starting full time, and if they do have problems, and he'll be pulled in, but he's not an on-site sub at the moment.
Ooh,
gotcha.
So he's like me, right?
Yeah, but
so he'll be a social media guy for some, team.
He's not the old
Fuck
stunt.
you.
Whoa, he's not the old stunt which like switch games, right? He's just on the team.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, don't get me wrong though. Like mechanically, I think he's really good at Thresh. I've seen some of his other shit, not bad either. But like, yeah, he's kind of toxic. But I mean, I'm like that too. I'm not as bad as him, but before I was pretty bad. I mean, my first account got banned.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never been like banned.
I've never been warned. Yeah. I've never been none of that.
Nah, dude. Way to go. Way to uphold the summoner's code.
That's right,
you
baby.
dipshit.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm a pussy too, guys. No, my first account got fucking banned, dude. It's actually like I was so sad. I think I was so sad, not even because I was like, damn, I got banned. I worked so hard for my rank. I'm like, got so much IP. I spent like fucking like.
Oh, it got perma-banned? It wasn't.
No, it's perma. It's gone.
Oh,
it's gone,
dude.
I spent
my God.
I'm pretty sure I spent like $400 on skins, and then it got banned, and that's why I reformed legit. I'm like, I don't want to lose my skins again.
Wait, Yuta, you're such a nice guy. What happened?
I mean, my first account was just fucking perma, dude. I was toxic.
I'm just saying. A lot of people think Yuta's toxic now. I've helped him reform. He's now half as bad as he used to be.
So you should have, like Tyler 1, all those.
I'm just saying. I can't make miracles. He's still toxic, but it's a lot. It's a lot better.
How much money have you think you spent on League?
Probably around the same amount. Because
on my main my account right now, I think I spent like $1,000.
Whoa! Oh, like it was like because up until 3 years, LCS season 3 started. I didn't spend a single cent on League, and when I spent money, it was because I needed to buy champions for my Smurf account because I needed to stream on it. And so I spent $100. I tweeted at MarkZ. I was like, I hope you appreciate the money I'm spending on your game. And he's like, what the? He responded with something funny back. But up until then, I didn't spend a lot. And now I just drop like $100, like maybe like once every 6 months, just so I could buy new skins. And it's really not for me because I don't super care about skins. It's just for the chat. It's like if a new cat skin comes out, people are like, you gotta have the new cat skin. I'm just like, but I like my old skin. Like, no, it's not as good as this one, dude. You gotta buy like, I don't know.
I'm a sucker, dude. I'm gonna buy Pugma like that. But that's it.
This is
all right. Thoughts on Pugma? I
actually don't like it.
That's what he said too.
Okay, conceptually, the skin itself is hilarious.
Yes.
It's super cute.
Yes.
The only reason why it's passable is because it's an April Fool's skin. Similar to like the Draven skin, right? I think that's the only way it's passable. But like, it's the first time they've skinned something to make it completely not look like the champion. Like,
that's what he said.
That's exactly what I said.
Exactly.
That's what I said.
It's like if they had a cat skin that was just like a lion. And
that's what he said.
That's
too.
exactly what I said. Well, I said if the Meowkai skin was just a cat.
Yeah.
It was just like what. It looks like one of those like fan made skins. Like who's that one YouTube guy who like does like those stupid builds and always uses like
Scarra. shit. No, it's not.
No, that guy's shitty.
Alright, guys.
I don't fucking know. But I get you, right?
Yeah, there's this guy and he uses like weird skins. Like he did like an AP Chimo video and it was just a war.
Cashaway?
Yeah, Cashaway. That's it.
I don't know who you guys are talking about.
His
He's
video-
just some guy who like his videos are basically he uses some random fucking skin that goes like full AP or AD and then fucks around the whole game. It's pretty funny actually.
It's pretty like his music choice is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like he was using like
You guys are just supporting people who just mess around. I only support the Summoner's Code. People who try
I've never
really
been banned,
hard.
So I don't know. Oh, speaking of the band thing, so Riot has a tool that lets you see,
Band thing?
band thing.
Oh,
Speaking
you
of
being
getting
banned. Okay, keep going.
or like reported in
me
general.
banned. Oh yeah.
They have a tool at Riot that lets you see what you get reported for. And so when I first started working at Riot, I was like I want to know, right? Like what have people? I've been reported. Yeah, so I've been reported for like the most random shit ever. I got reported because I was spamming emotes at someone the entire game. I got reported for being bad, of course. I got reported for someone just like people just like report you for random
reported
shit.
for that.
Not very often. Like I'm
sure?
a pretty nice guy. Yeah, I got
No, I meant
reported
the being
not that-
bad part.
Huh?
What?
Oh, being bad for that's all the time. I get reported at least once a game for that one.
Jesus.
No, seriously, my first gun got perma, dude. I remember
Like straight
that.
to perma?
No, it got like a 2-week warning and then it was perma.
Man, why didn't you learn after the 2 week, dude?
I mean, I learned after the perma. I mean, I never got banned after that, legit. Maybe. I think I got a warning once. But that's it. That was like 10 game
Damn,
warning.
you must have been a
you're
real piece of shit.
But-
You're so reformed now. You make Tyler One look.
What,
like
he
the
has
devil.
like 19 accounts banned or some shit, right? Wasn't it like
Yeah,
that?
you're 1/18th of the way there. 1/19th of the way there. Dude, you're 5% of Tyler One.
Fuck. Come on, that was it though.
Now, if you only were 5%, it's funny.
Damn, we're just
Right.
throwing shots everywhere tonight,
Oh,
huh?
that shit.
Yeah.
It's over.
Oh, you boy.
I got some Jack Daniels. We'll just take a shot for every shot.
Fuck. Shit, I don't got shit. He's really funny. Come on.
Yeah, he's
I love
so
Tyler.
funny.
He's actually so
actually.
When Tyler One first joined the scene, I was like, this guy's like so bad for the league community.
Oh,
That's
I
how
was
it
the
was too.
exact
Yeah, yeah.
same way.
But
I
then,
was
like-
Tyler One hater at first too.
Yeah. And then a couple months in, I like watched a video of him like doing some like DBZ shit where he's like sitting there yelling at his
That
camera.
was so goddamn
It
funny.
was so
No,
stupid and so funny.
everything from like his magic show to like his painting,
know.
his
cooking
painting
show that he's
stream
done?
to his
Like-
cooking. And I'm just like, this guy's a genius. He's actually just a funny guy.
Yeah, but it's
But
like
it was
he like
at
represents
first,
like the
yeah.
worst thing of league.
Oh yeah, for as a player, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Nah, he's definitely. I mean, like I told you, I played with him when he was climbing to master. He did this like a month ago. He was climbing to master, and
He's not that bad now.
no, he didn't say a word in
Yeah,
game.
but
He
like
said one thing at the very first at Champ Select where he's like, team, just shut the fuck up and I'll carry. But that's all he said the whole game, which is like, fine, right? That's not bad. And so he's 100% a lot better now. But yeah, at first, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
He would int though. Like, he would actually int
Yeah,
and
yeah.
run down mid.
Yeah.
The first thing I ever saw of Tyler One was when he had high in his game and like high like dies
Yeah.
or something, and he has like this fucking notepad.
oh,
that
it's
was
so funny.
I thought it was like the cringiest thing I've ever seen, and I was on all chat, so you know how it had to have been pretty cringy.
I'm just saying, Jesus, dude.
You want to take a shot? Damn, what the fuck, bro?
I just really want to get fucked up. so.
I'm just saying though, like it was so fun. When I saw a list like that, I was like, "Where's my name?" Oh, thank God.
The
nah.
int list? Oh, fuck. That shit was so... Shorter Aces was like Down syndrome Sona player.
Yeah, that shit was so fucking funny.
But now he's like... He's
Now he's completely
actually reformed.
reformed.
Yeah.
Like me, actually reformed.
Like,
Yeah.
like
And
what?
he's hilarious. He's like one of the best streamers on Twitch, without a doubt.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna.
funny.
I actually think he's gonna review Double If's Draven performance on his stream for this. Past
Oh,
game.
really?
That's gonna be.
Oh,
fucking
that's gonna be
funny.
fire.
That's gonna be fucking.
That's gonna be
funny.
fire.
I'm okay. I'm just saying.
All right, Tyler One hater. My bad.
Well, no, dude. I think Tyler One's great. I actually do. I just don't like people who run it down mid.
Yes.
Like I think
no one likes that.
Running it down mid is a joke.
I think it's funny
but
saying
it came off of a real thing that he did.
Yeah.
Like, I saw some of the game. I think I was in one, but I was in the team that he ran down against. So I'm just like, I'll take this free win, but this is kind of messed up.
That was the thing. Is like some people don't recognize that it's a joke. Right?
Exactly.
Like, and
there's
then,
the people who still think that he's like mega toxic, and he's like, well, if Tyler 1's an asshole, that means I get to be an asshole, right, guys?
Yeah.
But he's not actually an asshole.
It was the Casey Tron effect, right? Like people thought like Casey Tron was like.
So
actually...
you're saying Tyler 1's the male version of Casey Tron?
Kind of.
No.
They,
I get what you're trying to say.
They represent different deadly sins. No, it's not even
perfectly.
that.
Wow, dude, I'm glad you brought gender relations into this show, man.
That wasn't about gender. I mean, she just represents like the thing that she wants to do, which is like make fun of cam girls, and then he's got his thing, which is making fun of dudes who like int on stream, except he kind of actually was one.
He was one.
Yeah, he makes fun of it so much he's turned into one.
Well, no, he turned off of it. He like somehow
he
like
was one, then turned off
became self-aware and like.
Oh shit, he's become self-aware.
Oh, we gotta shut it down. That's why Riot banned him.
But there's just people who are like, when he says run it down mid, it's a joke, right? Like, shit goes wrong in the game, I'm about to int, boys. This is fucked. And then there's people who are like, wait, I'm actually going to int and ruin the game. And it's like, that's not funny. You just fucked the game, bro.
Yeah. You just triggered a bunch of people, by the way, by saying there's only 2 genders. How dare you? How dare you? 2017, 2 genders?
2017.
How dare you? You cisgendered piece of shit, male.
I'm just saying, being triggered in 2017, man, come on.
I know. 2017 is like the year of just like getting triggered by everything.
Last year was the year of being offended by everything. This year, you just gotta chill. You know, someone says something, you're like, you know what? He's wrong, but I'm not gonna say anything because I'm gonna have a good time. That's why I feel like 2017.
I don't think that's possible.
I'm gonna have a good
Trump
time.
being president,
year.
South Korea
have
president
a good time this
gets
year?
impeached. Like,
dude, what? He got impeached. People are celebrating. They're having a good time.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. No.
Impeached.
I don't know. Yo, that South Korea shit was actually. I was telling you know, a little bit about it.
He explained to me like what happened.
The
like,
president's controlled by a shaman.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
You like couldn't write a better story, right? Like this is 100% going to be like a parody movie, like 10 years down the line. Like people are going to be talking about this for a while. I think.
That'd be a hilarious ass movie though.
Yeah, it'll be like the next Team America.
Explain it to the.
Oh yeah. So for people who don't know, the prime minister or president of South Korea got impeached recently. Because she was not only stealing money from top corporations, because like when she first like scandals were coming out about her, it was like she like corrupted some like college to let her daughter get into college in a college she doesn't belong to.
I'll be honest, that happens for a lot of like.
Yeah. So people, so South Korean people are like pretty used to corruption in government. It happens a lot.
I'm gonna say that happens like in the States and China.
Yeah, it happens.
That's very
everywhere.
common level.
Yeah.
But
so people are like, okay, whatever, right? And she's like stealing money, whatever, right? But then people are like, why is she stealing the money, right? And then we find out that she's stealing money for this cult leader who has convinced the president that she can talk to her dead mom. And so she is not only just stealing money, but not for herself. She's not even corrupting the government for her own gain. She's corrupting it for this random ass fucking lady who is just like, I can talk to your dead mom. Give me money. I need money to talk to your dead mom. And it's like, all right, I guess we'll have to steal millions of dollars for it. And that's what happened. And then like I like can't wrap my head around it. Like when I was reading this, I was like, man, like who wrote the scripts on this? Yeah. This is good. This is gold.
I'm just saying, people think Trump is bad. Dude, at least he's not part of the cult.
Oh god, yeah,
that's fucking hilarious. I can only talk to your mom by burning $100 bills.
It's like the episode of South Park where they're talking about Magic Johnson and like, what's the cure to AIDS? And it's like, I just had to inject a ton of money. He like liquefies hundreds of dollars. And he's like, oh, I'm feeling so cured from AIDS with all this money.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So. But apparently money, you can do anything with it. So talk to your dead parents, cure AIDS, become the president of the United States of America.
Anyways, let's talk about something a little bit better, a little bit more on topic, with more in line with our viewers.
Okay.
So
what are we
Kimi no Wa is showing in April this next month.
I bought tickets right away as soon as I heard that. So on Funimation's like Twitter account, they announced that Kimi no Nawa, which is your name roughly translated, It's like this anime movie that has so much hype. People were saying that it was a shame that it didn't get voted into the Oscars. Like, people were going off about how good this movie was. And I missed it, and I was really sad about it. But it's coming back, and I bought that I bought that ticket within the first 5 minutes of seeing that tweet. I was just like, I need to go.
I'm just saying, I got one too, dude.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm gonna watch it online. I mean, that's against the law. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go buy it.
Let me see those Vohayos in chat for all my homie weebs out there.
Yeah, anime and Oscars, that doesn't happen unless your last name is Miyazaki.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you retired at least 5 times in your career, there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, I love Miyazaki films. Don't get me wrong, but like, I kind of.
I love his dedication to acting too. The retirement and coming back. Dude,
He's
that
pulling
takes
a Brett Favre.
that takes a very high. I didn't think you could do it the 5th time, but he showed me I can do it more times
through perseverance.
Actually, how many times has it been now?
I don't know.
I think
Basically, for every movie he's ever.
Yeah,
released.
I think after every movie, he's just like, you know
I'm
what,
retired.
guys, I'm done. This movie is great, and then he's like, but I'm back again, guys. I got this new idea, but this is my last movie. I promise you guys.
He's probably just like, like, I don't have any good ideas anymore. Like, I'm done. So he goes home. He's like, goes to his family. He's like, I got nothing to do. I already made this great movie. I'm gonna smoke a ton of weed. Oh man, I have this great idea. What if this fish turns into a little girl and becomes the best friends with this other kid? Oh my God, Ponyo, that's what we're gonna call it. And he comes back out of retirement. He's like,
I actually think that I think that guy's like exactly what I would be like if you're retiring and you're not doing stuff that you like it's boring, right?
Yeah,
he's probably just like he's retired. He's like, shit.
He's probably really fucking bored.
Yeah, he's
that's
like,
what I assume happens.
He's like, I have mountains of money, but like, just flips over like $1,000. That doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. And he's like, let's go make movies again after like 6 months or something.
Yeah, blows all his money on coke and prostitutes, and he's just like, yeah, it just doesn't hit the spot anymore.
Shit, I'm all out of money.
Live, yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yo, Miyazaki living that high life. I'm telling you.
All right.
I bet he's got to be so rich. He's got to be so rich.
Money.
Life is not all about money, man.
I don't know, man. Once you're starving,
money.
you're doing production work for no money.
Yeah,
like, let me tell you.
I'm just
the
saying,
struggle's
dude.
real.
Coming on to some random show every Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe you're right. Like I'm just saying, like there's a level where money doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you know?
true.
I think that level where you can sell your own plain white T-shirts for like that hand spun plain white T-shirts online for like how much would they?
What?
You know what I'm talking about, right? Kanye's.
I'm not gonna lie. You're talking about Kanye, but I totally thought you were talking about Cutie's fucking t-shirt.
That too.
VerifiedMerch.com.
Cutie makes like millions of dollars a year. He's just like, those Calvin Klein white T-shirts, they just get me, man. Like, just like can't buy anything else.
I love the description of the shirts. It's like it's hand spun, like with like Egyptian made, like imported exclusively. Like they spent hours of work on each one, and I'm just like, it's a white T-shirt, dude. How is this like $75?
Yeah.
Oh, it's $500. Oh, dude, that's even higher than I thought.
$500.
Me and Mark went down shopping just to buy the clothes or whatever because he wanted new clothes, and we go to
a date.
Little date.
Yeah, a little date. Yeah,
You and Mark can go shopping together.
Sorry, you guys weren't invited. I know you guys feel left out about it.
A little date.
Just him.
Going on a little date or something. Anyways.
Yeah, one of those. So, anyways, we go into Urban Outfitters. And like a T-shirt there is like $100. It's like
really?
It's like more like $50, like 40-ish. And I was like, holy shit, that's fucking expensive. I like walk over to H&M and like a T-shirt's like $10. And I was like, yeah, I'll get 4 of those. That sounds way better. But like they were selling like regular like graphic tees for like $40.
That's when you go online. You're just like, I won't buy 6 for $60.
Yeah.
Woo, that's what I did. I was just like, one of the days I was just like, I want some graphic tees. I bought like 5 graphic tees, like the Samurai Jack one, which by the way is
coming out today.
Tonight.
Yep.
I don't know when it is, but it's sometime tonight.
8 p.m. PST, some shit like that.
I hope I can watch it online, because if I can't, then I'll just say I'm not going to do illegal stuff to get it, but I might.
Go that far. Breaking the law to see the new
watching stuff
Samurai
online,
Jack.
you disgusting human being. I'd never do that. Fuck you. God, I hate you.
Yeah.
You're right.
But if you were to do something like that, you should let me know where
but if you did find the link, if it's somehow
just for safety so I don't go there,
Yeah, just link me so I don't know where to go.
Oh, right. Yeah, but I'm not going to do it. But if I did, I will let you guys know.
I would watch it, but I'm actually going to the Legend of Zelda escape room tonight.
Oh yeah, you said you're doing that. How is that? Is there anything you've seen that's like?
I have no idea. So like,
all right, just take a video the entire time you're in there.
Yeah, I don't think they allow that. Like a lot of people in our friend group actually just like love escape rooms, so they like take a chance whenever they can to go to these things.
Went to like one or two.
Yeah, I've only been to like one or two.
It's a limited edition though.
Yeah, they only have them out for like a certain amount of time, so you like want to go to the ones that are like considered really good or whatever. And
is this one considered really good?
I don't know. I've literally no idea. So,
but how many escape rooms have you ever been on?
Like I said, like 2. I think.
Right. Well, I think
1 to 4. I probably like 4 or 5.
The 2 I went on, the first one I went to like a scary one, and I kind of just like hid in the corner because I was too scared.
Oh my god, some of the horror-based ones sound so scary to me. So Sade, I don't know if you guys know who Sade is. She's a fan artist and she does amazing work.
Yeah.
She was telling me about these escape rooms in Japan, where so the theme is like.
Wait, she went to an escape room in Japan?
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
It's huge,
in
actually.
Japan, yeah. So there was two escape rooms that she went to. The first one was where in the escape room there are like certain safe spots, and if you don't go into a safe spot after the timer ticks down, like the room floods with like a bunch of zombies, and they like look around and like kidnap people, and if you get touched by them, you have to leave the escape room. So so like one of the escape room, like the safe spots was in one of the closets, right? And so she's hiding in the closet, and you can see the zombies like walking by her, and apparently one of the zombies rips open the door and just like stares at her, and then just like walks out. Like,
that's what happened in the first one I was gonna go to. Was like, there's an actor in the room, he can touch you. I'm like, nah, nah, I'm not in with that touching shit.
Yeah. So, and then the other one that she went to was like kind of like Saw themed, where you're locked into a room with a person, an actor, a zombie, who's there with like one of those the chains right to the wall, and every like 10 minutes or so the chain starts to break, and so you have to escape the room before the zombie gets free. And it just sounds so scary. Like
I can't do that shit.
I am so bad with scary movies. Like I love scary movies, but like they scare the shit out of me. Like The Ring fucked me up for like a month after. But
I think that fucked me up too. When I was a kid.
Wait, are you Korean? I heard like the Korean
horror
movies are so scary too.
It's so scary. They do the same shit. It's always just some dead girl with like a bunch of long black hair in front of her face, but it's so fucking scary every single time. I don't know.
I used to be so bad with scary movies, but now I'm a lot better. But I can't play any scary games. I just can't.
Yeah.
I think it's like the feeling of me being in control of the person.
Yeah.
Like, you know how in a movie it's like, dude, don't do that. Come on, you don't walk into the dark room.
Yeah.
You retarded. But then, like, when you're in control of the game, you're like, but I need to walk into the dark room, or we can't progress through the story.
Yeah. Oh my
I
god.
can't do it. I couldn't even play. I watched the entirety of Resident Evil 7 the playthrough, and I'm like,
nope.
My stream wanted me to play, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's so stressful. I think for video games though, like I'm usually the most scared in like the first hour of playing, but then you start to like catch on to like the gimmicks that they do. So like I was playing through Dead Space, which everyone considers like one of the like better horror shooters.
Yeah. The first Dead Space was sick.
But like after a while, you're just like, yeah, that corpse is actually not dead. All right, and then like this is a blind spot. Yeah, of course. There's like you start to like catch on to things.
I like the ones that like reinvent themselves. Like every like quarter away through the thing, they add a new element. You're just like, oh shit, I didn't think about that.
Right,
you know?
right.
I think those are like the best games.
So there's it was by Penumbra Games. They had one called like, was it Insomnia or what?
Yeah. I think it was.
What was it called again? I forget.
Amnesia.
That's it. Yeah. So Amnesia, like I was scared shitless for like the first couple hours I was playing.
Huge game.
It was so scary, right? Like it was just so frightening. But then I realized that certain events trigger the monsters to come out, and so once I realized what the triggers were, I just was like, well, this isn't scary to me anymore, right? So like. For me, like they need to like freshen it up. I don't know, like figure it out. But like I want to play through some of the other horror games that are considered really good. Like Fear apparently is really good, but
you guys will learn too quickly, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
It took me so long to learn League. Fucking bash my head into shit, and I'm like, oh, that hurts. I get it.
Yeah, sit there. Oh, I should probably last
100
it.
times, like shit. I get it.
Bam LeBlanc. All right.
All right. Have we talked about Mark? Have we talked about what we're doing today?
Oh, that's right. Okay, so some of the actual stuff to do with the show. We're gonna do Boring. We're gonna do a QA session, Q&A. There's some guy on Twitter who like yelled at me, by the way, because I call it QA, which is technically quality assurance, but whatever. Q&A.
We're gonna do a question and answer segment at the end of the show.
Yeah, we're gonna answer your questions. So use hashtag PLT. You can tag us in it if you guys feel like it. But
yes, just ignore the lingerie, women's lingerie.
Yeah.
Hashtag. It's not what our show is about.
Yep. I mean, it can be. We can make it about it.
Now I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Last time we had. What if they want to sponsor us? Because they have the same title, right?
Dude,
I'm just saying, for enough money, I can get Mark to wear whatever. I can get Josh to wear whatever.
Oh my god!
But I have to.
I'd be down. Fuck it. If it was for enough. Everyone has a price.
Sellout piece of shit.
Everyone has a price.
I never do that. No one could ever pay me enough money to sell out. I fucking love my fans. You know what? On second thought, maybe I look pretty good in like a.
All I'm saying, I agree, dude. Everyone has a price.
Yeah, everyone has a price.
But I wouldn't do it.
Really?
I just let you guys do it.
Really?
If
someone was like $1 billion.
Okay, I'm just saying though.
Wear a song on stream.
You guys would just.
Fuck yeah!
$1 billion, dude. I'm set for life. $1 billion. I could put all that shit into a savings account and like live off of interest for the rest of my life.
You wouldn't even have to do that. You have $1 billion.
Yeah, I wouldn't even like think about how many. Okay, so if you were to make $50,000 a year after college, right? Like you're 22, and you did that for 50 years, right? Let's say up to about like retirement age. That's nowhere near even $1 million. So if you had 1,000 times more than that, dude, you're set for life. I'm just saying.
Fucking sell out piece of shit.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'll sell out so fast. Whatever. Fuck you guys.
What? You fucking.
Hey, please sponsor our show, by the way.
Anyways, it seems like our actual analysis portion of the show is starting soon.
Yeah. So Mark just walked in the
has
door.
entered the room, so these monkeys
Boring.
can quickly leave.
Really quickly, guys. Please follow our social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I think they all have Post League Time.
Thingy?
No, dude, because he told me this morning that we had it.
That shit takes 2 seconds to set up. It's literally adding an
I don't
image
even
and
get
then
paid to do this. Why would I do extra work? I was just talking to the streams.
Your own social media.
I was just telling. My social media is right here.
Fight,
Wait, where?
Fight.
Right here.
Fight on stream.
I get out of here.
Yo,
it'd be
Melee, right? 1v1, Fox, no items, Final Destination. Let's go, bitch.
Alright.
I don't even play Fox.
All right, hold on. Let me tweet that the stream is live,
I'll retweet that when
and we are going live,
we are going,
and that we are live
and it's gonna be
Live?
live soon.
with
Check out this tech skill, bro.
Post.
No one
League
cares.
Time
No one
right
cares.
now.
How late was that? What was my timer today? Was it bad?
It was 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I felt like a. Oh shit! I kept this.
Tech skill, bros. Tech skill. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Bloop 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 bloop. How'd you feel about today? You love today?
Yeah,
I
did. I actually loved today. The game qualities were like, it was like, even if the game quality was
game
bad,
quality was mad, but the storylines were so good.
yeah, I actually liked it a lot. Oh shit, I should have worn white socks today. That's a faux pas with black. My bad.
But they can't see your socks, dude. You're good.
Oh, they can't.
Yeah, this is like
Sick.
strictly knees and up.
I know, you can see your socks.
Okay. I'm
Well,
back
yeah,
now.
if you put your leg above your knee when I see it's knees and up, they will see it.
Okay. You ready, dude?
Yeah, I'm trying to tweet your thing, but I'm too busy.
Okay. Welcome to Post League Time. Here we do League of Legends post LCS analysis. Beforehand, you might have saw our pre-PLT show, which stars my roommate Yuna and my friend Josh.
My roommate Josh.
Oh, his roommate
It's kind of like
Josh.
the roommate show.
Yeah, and then now onto the main course. You got the appetizer. We're the
You
main
got the
deal.
Saturday special, as they call
Yeah.
us at the LCS.
Yeah, so the Saturday special has arrived. I am Scarra. I've done coaching. I played as a pro player. I've done a bunch of stuff. I was on the analyst desk just today. I'm still wearing my analyst desk.
Yeah, we're
big
still
stuff.
sort of like...
Yeah, and with me is my co-host MarkZ.
Yeah, I was one of the first analysts in the Western scene. One of the first ones to be live-in with Curse way back, start of Season 4 and
I'm
Season
sorry.
3. Yeah, those were dark times. I try not to think about them. Yeah, I worked with them for like 2 years, and then I became a content creator. So that's what we do. I'm on the LCS every day, every weekend. This guy stops by sometimes.
Yeah, I'm on about once a week.
Yeah, the better one is brought on every day. Talking about Dash.
Yeah.
Anyways, so...
Yeah, I like that guy.
I like Dash too. Let's start. We're going to talk about the Friday games. So, what do you feel? What do you feel about Friday games? Because we're starting with TL versus C9.
It's like it fulfilled expectations for me. So at least for that game.
So game 1, it was pretty close. TL got like a huge lead off some like stupid shit out of C9, and then they didn't do anything with it. They sat with like a 2 to 3K gold lead for like 25 minutes, and then eventually C9 started winning fights and like moving around the map, and then they got a pick, got Baron, and game was over. Game 2 was kind of a stomp. TL kind of got smashed, and then like they almost won a couple team fights. Piglet was like making plays, but they just couldn't really win. So that was basically how the series went, and for me, I actually hated the way it went, because if they just got smashed, it would have been like, what a funny experiment, this is so dumb, haha, lol. And then if they did well, it'd be like, oh my god, they're going to make a run for the playoffs. Instead, they looked decent, but lost. So I felt like extra bad, where I'm like, I want to see more out of this team, but I know they're going to be like in promotion relegation in like a week.
Okay,
2
no,
weeks.
so like we were talking about where they were before Double F the week before. This is a 9th, 10th place team. You argued that it could be either or. So
I put 10. For the record, I did not put Immortals 10. That was this guy. I conceded the point.
Okay, anyway, so 9 and 10 is where Team Liquid goes. With Double Lift, I would argue that they're now like a 5th, 6th, 7th place team.
Yeah, they're somewhere in the middle. It's hard to place them, especially given today where like all the bottom tier teams basically upset. Aside for like a single match was not an upset.
Yeah, so but still, being a 5th, 6th place team, they're not going to beat C9, which is like a top 2 team. Like they need more than Double Lift to be able to carry this team upwards.
Yeah, so I think as you can tell, like, you know, we expect them to lose C9. I didn't think they'd ever win. But if they look just a little bit better, like if they won that first game after that massive lead, which honestly, like any competent team should be able to, it was
okay.
sad. That hurt me.
Let's talk about the first game, dude. I'm ready. Okay,
what's the title of the stream right now, friend?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're the one with the dashboard.
Oh, I have to go change it?
Well, what do you have it as?
Wait, you guys locked me out? I have it as yesterday's stuff.
Why would it be yesterday's stuff? It's today.
No, but I haven't logged in, so...
So my point stands. Why haven't we changed?
Well, I will be changing it right now.
All right, I'll keep talking.
You talk about the first game.
So Double Lift in lane, like at 4 minutes in, like Piglet solo kills Jensen, who's just like being super disrespectful. Rain overturns a gank topside, normal play, and then the bot lane, they just go aggressive, force the sums out of sneaky, and then Double Lift hits him with the long range like W. So like, oh my god, kills in every lane, 2K gold lead instantly. They do nothing with it until like 8 to 10 minutes. I don't remember exactly when the play was, where C9 starts pressuring the top side and TL starts pressuring the bottom, so they're kind of splitting the map. And then instead of just making a 4-man dive play, which is all they needed to do, they TP the Renekton down as well. So they get a double kill, which is great, and they take the bot turret, but they give up 2 turrets on the top side. And like that was the moment where it's like that was TL's big play with their lead. Was like they got a dragon in the turret for 2 turrets, and it's just like you could just tell they're gonna get stalled out. And then they never made like another big play the rest of the time. And like slowly over time, like there would be scrappy fights, but TL wasn't winning them despite like the lead. They didn't get any like big plays off, and then eventually they just got picked in their jungle.
They got gifted the best lead, the best opener you could possibly get gifted in the League of Legends game, outside the jungle, running into your tower. They got 3 lanes ahead, and they couldn't solve.
And jungler ahead.
Oh my god! When I was so mad when I saw the Renekton TP bot, I was like, I'm pretty sure Renekton can even hold the tower.
Yeah, Renekton might be fine in the turret because he just needs to hug the wall. And Graves is so bad at diving a turret when you're able to like put the turret between you and Graves.
I was just so upset watching that series. So I'm just like, how did they still lose first tower starting like with a 1 to 2K gold lead so early into the game?
Yeah, so that was atrocious. I mean, on the side of C9, because we've been talking a lot about TL, they didn't look good this series to me. I thought like Jensen just it kind of felt like someone playing with their food though. Not like they were actually having problems, but it was just like, what are you guys even doing? Like,
okay, I've never seen Jensen get solo killed like pre-4 minutes.
I mean, just the way he did it too, where like he took a bad path and then he gets forced out of lane, and he should, instead of just pathing around and losing like 2 or 3 CS, he tries to just run through a rise.
Yeah, I mean, even looking at the other game where he's playing Echo versus Ahri, I'm just like, well,
yeah, no ult, no summoners, like trying to CS and harass at half health against like an Ahri with summoners and ult, and then he dies, and it's like, wow. Can't believe that happened.
And this is coming from a person who usually rates Jensen as the best mid laner in North America. Like, he made uncharacteristically bad plays during the series. I was not very impressed, but they won because they were the better team, you know? And I think that's the given. They're the better team, so they should win, but I wasn't impressed with their play this. Yeah, their play this. Even, like, just in general, I just didn't think Jensen even had that great game impact this series either.
No, I mean, he like...
The only player I was just like, oh, he's playing really well is Impact, you know? I really thought Impact, like, brought it back from that 1 week where he played pretty bad, and he was just playing like a monster.
Yeah, and I think the other person... I thought Sneaky was all right. I mean, obviously he got killed in lane that one time, but outside that, I think he was fine. Double Lift, like, on the Jhin game, there were a couple team fights where it was like, oh my god, he's so good. Where he had like the Jhin one where they opened up on the Ahri and like he held his fourth shot, then sniped Ahri out mid dash and like landed the W onto Sneaky to root him for like Renekton to finish him off. I was like, oh my god, Double Lift's so good. They would have lost that fight without him. And then the Draven game happened, which it was a horrible pick there. Like, it's fine in the lane matchup. It's a good pick for the lane matchup, but then you're playing it into Rengar, Echo, Camille. Was it Camille? What was it?
It was Camille. But, like, it's not even, like, I don't even think it was a great lane matchup. It's good.
It's good.
The AD is good into the other AD. So, like, Draven, it does well into Ezreal.
Yeah.
But Karma does well into Lulu. And so, like, I just thought Karma could push out the Lulu, which she did.
Yeah.
And Karma also harassed out the Draven, which she did. And it was just like...
And then, like, at 6, they dove the Draven and lost his stacks.
Yeah, and so it just goes how you normally expect it to go. And... I thought it was a nice fan service pick. Like, I was looking for the Draven. I tweeted about getting the Draven.
Just pick the Caitlyn. Caitlyn Lulu's good. It wins that lane still, and then it's better out of lane, and you just have to deal with having a shittier mid game. I don't know. I thought Caitlyn was a better pick there. We know Double Lift can play Caitlyn. I was sad because it's just like totally like you already. I don't know. I think they're just screwed anyways because like they couldn't close the game out with that massive lead in game number 1. So game 2, they're like, what do we need to do? Get a bigger lead. We're picking Draven. We're gonna snowball.
I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna say too much. I think generally TL looks like a much better team. I'm interested to see how they play against teams that are worse than C9 because I don't expect them to beat C9.
Right. I think that's the big thing. Overall, that's the general thoughts. Is like TL looks okay, but it's hard to know how much better they were. And then C9 just looked like they weren't taking it 100% serious. Jensen in particular.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to the other match of the day. Also kind of disappointing for me. FlyQuest versus P1. FlyQuest.
Okay, you want to ream into them? Okay,
no,
go over the games
why
first.
don't you do the recap for this series? Because it was...
All right, the first game they played, they're back to their old days. They played Blitz.
No, they played Nautilus.
Well, was it Blitz? Oh, Nautilus
So they've ran Nautilus Mord, and they flex the Nautilus sometimes, which they did again. And instead of doing anything good with that support flex, they took Maokai.
Yeah.
So the bot lane is Mordekaiser, Ignite, Maokai.
Wait, was that the first game or the second?
That was the first game.
Oh, it was the first game. The second. Yeah, the first game was with Ignite Maokai, and then they weren't able to get anything started. Their bot lane got double killed, like what happened the first time when they played against a duo that was like halfway, like pretty good, and then they just lost the game. Like their mid lane couldn't do anything, and then they just slowly lost the game.
Yeah, and then game 2
was the Shaco game, which I'm a big fan of the Shaco. I actually love Shaco, but I understand its limitations in competitive play. So Moon tried to play Shaco, and then he wasn't able to get off the ground at all. And this is the game where Meteos just like popped off. The first game Meteos did pretty well, and the second game Meteos actually like 1v5 the game.
Yeah, he was like 7-0-2 at some point.
Yeah, it was just you watching Meteos. He does like a bottom loop, and he gets the Summoners, loops again, gets the kill, goes behind mid lane, gets the kill. And this guy's just like a highlight reel. Like every 2 minutes, he's getting another kill. So I think that game just fell quickly out of favor when with a Shaco, he's completely useless if he falls behind. So there wasn't much they could do.
So for me, just based off how this series played out, I feel like there's not a ton to break down from the series. And it's a lot more about like talking about these two teams and like their current trajectories, kind of. But I don't know if you want to save that for today because they both played today as well. So I don't know. Do you want to?
Nah, let's bring it out right here. I know you got something to say about FlyQuest.
All right, because I feel like I can break down the other series that they played in. So let's do this right now. I feel like FlyQuest is just like straight fraudulent. Like it's not like they're not. They started 6-1. They're 1-6 now. why are they still high on our power rankings? Like, even you and I have given them way too much leeway. Everyone looks at this team and they're like, wow, they do such crazy stuff with the draft, and then they have such crazy shot calling. No one has, like, come out and just been like, no, those are bad. Like, they're straight up doing stupid stuff over and over, and because they built, like, such a good reputation, they have, like, all this credit that they're just, like, cashing it in now, and no one's like, wait, they're just fucking bad. Like, they're an 8th place team right now. Straight up, they lost to Dig, they barely beat Envy. That's their only win, and they've lost to everyone else. They haven't lost to TL yet, I don't think. I don't know if they've played Immortals. But
You think you're going to lose to TL if they face them?
Like, would you be surprised if TL beat them in the coming weeks?
No. But it's just because, oh god, when I look at FlyQuest, I'm just like, I guess I see it through rose-tinted goggles. Because
I feel like everyone's still looking at them from weeks 1 through 4. Dude, they're not that team anymore.
I love the idea.
There was a patch, you don't have to ban Rengar, LeBlanc, Camille, and suddenly they suck.
Honestly, there's only I give them too much credit. It is true.
Yeah, I was the same way.
A lot of the reasoning is because I'm just like, you know what? It doesn't really matter what they do right now because they're pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot unless they suck massively and lose all their games. And this is my idea of like a couple weeks ago. So if they want to try Mordekaiser, Maokai support, they want to try.
Dude, they're like not that safe.
And then I'm just like. They keep losing. Like, they're not winning games. They're not beating the bottom teams at all. They can't afford to give up games.
Do you know that the 7th place team right now is 6-7 and they're 7-7?
Really?
Yeah. Like, they're not safe. Immortals is 6-7, CLG is 6-7, and Dignitas is 6-7, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they're not... Like, they might not make playoffs.
Right. And so I think that... I thought that they were much higher up. They don't have much leeway, and you're right. I've given them too much credit. I think that they need to prove back to the people who watch them that it's not just like an early season thing. Because I've been a part of those early season things, man. I was a part of Dignitas when they had that 7-0 run at the early season, I think 3 or 4. Like, I know what it's like to like fall off mid-season. Yeah. And it seems like they're in free fall mode right now.
Well, and the thing is, I would be more like lenient if I heard like good things. Like, oh, you know, our scrims are going fine. We're doing all this weird stuff.
You're the opposite.
Yeah, they're like tweeting that like they're losing every scrim and stuff. And like, I don't know. It's just so ridiculous that we're still like kind of buffering this team like they're good. Like their early game has become trash. Like we talked about Moon High having such great synergy. They've been getting dominated over and over.
I think ever since
like the best performing player is Balls right now, hands down.
Oh, that's true. He played Nihilus 2 games in a row, and I think he got like 30 CS leads in both.
Yeah, he's like in Rumble matchups every now and then too. Like he's looked fine. Like I have no problem with Balls. Like High and Moon came crashing back down to earth. Their bot lane was like always a little suspect, but they were benefiting from Moon's pressure and stuff like that. And now like they're just getting destroyed. It's so painful to watch because like everyone knows, like everyone loves FlyQuest. Like I still love FlyQuest. Like their idea of being like this really aggressive, crazy like comps team. But they're just not that team anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always the type of guy who cheer on people.
This is like Envy last year. You remember Envy? They always had crazy ass picks. They were flexing everything. They started the season good, and then they crashed and burned. Dude, they're Envy from Summer Split.
I hated Envy from that.
That's what they are right now. And the only reason you don't think that is because it's all like the recognizable faces from season 3.
That's true.
If this was a different roster who had this kind of story, you wouldn't give a shit. You'd be like, this team's fake. But because it's you know, High and Balls and Lemon and All Tech and even Moon's back on it. Like, no, they're not that team anymore. That's how I feel. Maybe they'll turn it around, but like, I don't think so. I'm betting against it.
I think that they'll stabilize, but they won't stabilize. If they stabilize, it'll be around 5.
I think they're definitely out of the top.
They're out of top 3.
Yeah,
for sure.
P1 cemented that today, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think we can hit on a...
You want to talk about P1? You still want to keep
FlyQuest? Let's save P1. I think I'm done with FlyQuest. I think P1's better to talk about in context of their next series because Inori played in it, whereas this was Meteos twice.
Okay, yeah. My closing thoughts on this are just that I just don't like it. I love off-meta picks. I just don't like when people play off-meta without a good reason. You know, the idea of picking stuff like support Maokai maybe makes sense in some situations, but it's like they picked all these like Mordekaiser into a team that runs Gangplank every game, and so like they're playing into like the enemy strengths without being adequately drafted around it. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, I think early in the season we saw like a lot of baits on what are considered OP picks that they had pocket picks prepared for. Now that there's no longer these like OP champs that they're abusing people's inexperience with, they're just playing regular like two skill matchups, and they're just like losing, or they're trying like just absolutely not troll, but like solo queue stuff.
Yeah, and so I want to see just better. I don't even want to see better play. I just want to see smarter picks.
Yeah, but they did that in the game 2 of that's today's series.
We'll wait for that. But
yeah.
That's my thoughts on this series. Let's head on to today's games, which are much better.
Yeah, today's games were really sick. So we'll start out with the CLG versus Dignitas matchup.
Holy.
Yeah, this might not be your favorite series. I love this series.
Oh, I thought it was fine.
I thought you were a CLG fanboy.
Whatever. That's fine.
You used to having your heart broken.
I'm used to it, dude. If you're a CLG fanboy, this is like just a normal Monday.
Yeah.
Can you hold this? All right.
Hey man, they still might make playoffs. You don't burn it yet.
Wait, what is that?
Yeah, that's when they miss playoffs. They're not there yet. So this was a 2-0 in favor of Dignitas, and in both games were kind of the same way, where CLG would like do some good stuff early, and then they would like straight up throw the game, getting aced both times. Once at 12 minutes, once at like 18:30, and then they couldn't win from there. Game 2 was even worse because they eventually got the split push online, and then like forced too hard. So very sad series out of CLG.
So the overarching thing about this series is something we talked a lot about on the desk, is that CLG sucks at skirmishing. If you watch how CLG a chaotic teamfight will happen, and CLG just feels like they're chicken without a head. Whereas they can make premeditated movements. They're like, if you look a lot at their level 1s today, they were great, brilliant. They like set up level 1s to get Xmethy a kill on top lane. They set level 1s to 3-buff the other jungler. They're like really in cool, inventive level 1s that like catch the other team off guard. But in like these really chaotic skirmishes, CLG just like falls apart. Someone gets picked, and rather than just giving it up, being like, okay, you know what? 0 for 1, dude, we're okay. He may have died, but we can still win the game. They're like, no, we must save him. And they go in to help them, and it's like 1 by 1 or like 2 by 2. And then like it's like one person dies, one person goes in, 3 people stay back, but then they stay like split apart from each other, run in different directions, and then like everyone dies. It's in both games they got aced.
It's all year long too.
They got aced at 16 minutes and 18 minutes in 2 stupid ass skirmishes that start with a pick from from the other team. And it's like, we can't just give them the death, dude. Like, we're better than this. Let's show them how to really lose the game. And it's
and the thing about it too is like, it's been a problem all year. If you go back to their first loss versus TL, the first game that they play, they like lose that game because they give away 4 kills, like trying to gank the bot lane like one at a time. And it's been like that. Like last week they lost at TSM through like horrible early mid fighting, just constantly losing games from
keep going.
Yeah, fuck me. Just from not knowing how to play out like random situations. Like you said, if they're like doing a smart rotation to the top side, great stuff. They're setting up a gank attempt, not bad. Like all that's fine. Even like some Baron situations are fine from them. But if the other team ever starts the fight out, they will lose that fight basically.
Even if they start their own fight out, it's like suspect.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not very impressed with their skirmishing right now, and I think they have serious problems. I think their actual planning in game and then their early game is okay. Xmethy played Graves both games. I lead both games, so I guess at some level of consistency. But if that's the best thing I can say about a team that literally loses the game at 16 and like pre-20 minutes every single game, that's really bad.
And especially moving into game 2, whereas like game 1 they got aced to 12 minutes and they just got smashed. Like Dignitas took a Baron, good call by them. They were just like had vision control. They burned the Baron down, and then they just like took bot turret and just grouped and pushed and ended the game. Game 2, after kind of having that horrible ace, they actually got back on the map first and made another aggressive play right away to punish like the slower resetting Dignitas.
Right, but like the first game was they're out of the picture. They lose 2 towers, first tower, Infernal Dragon, and got aced.
Yeah,
for
that's gross.
1. And then the second one, they got aced for 1 and then Dragon, but they were able to like quickly come back. It was only like a 2k gold deficit. And they had the full control of the game. They have a Fiora online, split pushing.
It's not full control, all right? Let's be fair. The Fiora is totally online. Their 4-man core is weaker. Their 4-man grouping...
Right, but Dignitas isn't a good enough team to exploit it. No. Unless COG messes up, which they did. And COG tries to start brute forcing before the split push even comes online. Like, they don't wait for Darshan. They're just like, let's go. And Darshan, you join us whenever you can. And it's like, wait a sec, we just lost. Why did we do this? When they could have just had Darshan threaten to end the game.
Yeah, it was basically Fiora hit 3 items. They're finally ready to set up the split push. He gets pressure for, I think, literally the first time in that game. I'd have to rewatch to make sure like he didn't get pressure earlier. But I think he gets pressure for the first time, and CLG's just forcing around Baron. And it's like, why don't you guys like play this a little slower? Like maybe not start the Baron, just like fight for vision so they come up to contest your vision. Like no, they're on the Baron. Like
the worst thing is like they started it. Like Smithy got checked to 30%. They stopped it, and like P1 didn't start it up to like pressure them.
You mean Dig.
Or Dig, sorry. They
Yeah.
didn't start it up to pressure them again. And so it was just like, oh, well, they're just going to not do anything unless COG starts it first. So it's weird to be behind in gold, but the proactive team. I thought that's what COG was in that position. And if that's the case, that means the other team just doesn't know what they're doing.
Right, and then the worst part was, like, despite how bad that situation was, he did actually take the bottom inhibitor, Darshan. So, like, despite them all kind of dying in this weird place, Dig didn't get the Baron, and CLG got bottom inhibitor. And instead of, like, resetting up the split push and trying to use that bottom pressure to, like, threaten ending the game with your fed Fiora, they TP him into the Baron and force around Baron again, and then Dig just, like, kills them all.
Okay, let's stop talking about CLG for a little bit. What about Dignitas? What do you like to see from this?
I like to see the fact that Keen looked better, Dig and Chaser looked better.
Okay, so for me, Dignitas is really interesting because honestly, I'm not impressed with Chaser. I think he's like a bottom 5 jungler.
For most of the season.
For most of the season, he's not been playing very well. So I have a couple problems. I have problems with Chaser, problems with Keen, and problems with
Their bot lane.
just proactive play in general.
Sure.
So what happened when they came in this week? They played Lulu Rengar with Jhin and found ways to start the team fight. In a week, they've progressed to the point where they can find ways to initiate and force situations which are favorable for them. I think that's really good and shows a lot about like how they practice throughout the week. Okay. Secondly, Keen kind of went off in the series, but well, I don't know. He did well in this series, but it was
who he played really bad.
Yeah, it was in a situation where I was like, it's tough to give me credit if like Hui just like kills himself. Like the first game, okay, King got the solo kill, but against an exhaust Ahri, that really shouldn't happen. But even let's not discredit that. Let's say King played out of his mind, got that solo kill. He's a monster. Going to the second game, CLG's making him play bot lane. Rengar runs through a ward 8 seconds of it's like he runs through a ward 8 seconds before he reaches mid lane. Literally straight through. It's not like some like random route. He's not like flashing over the camp into the bush. He runs straight through the ward. They warded at Raptors like a minute before then. They see him specifically, but Hui's like listening to comms. He doesn't see it, and then Rengar just runs from the bush to loop around him and get the kill. Like that's almost unacceptable, to be honest.
It's straight up unacceptable. And like we theorize that the only reason that he didn't see him was because he was busy listening to his bot lane comms who were actively making a play at the time. So
Right.
he was probably just like overwhelmed with like too much information where like he's laning, his team's going crazy, like flash, go get the kill. And then like he just doesn't see the Rengar.
And the worst thing is not only does he die, he blows all of his sums to die as well, and he easily gets killed by like a 2 or 3 man core 2 minutes later.
And the sad thing was that he stabilized after that, which is like kind of crazy that he died twice really bad, and then, well, I guess the second one, like you said, not that bad, but he dies twice early, and then they don't lose. They don't lose the game off it, which is pretty crazy. And then like I don't know, they take that ace in the bot lane off the Lulu Rengar. I think that's something that if you want to give Cop a little credit for, I know we always joke about like Coach Cop probably not having a big influence on the team, blah blah blah. It's all just like timing, but their old coaching staff, from what I heard, was not good, like straight up not good. And Cop isn't like straight up bad.
The savior of
It was an upgrade in the coaching staff, all right? And you see them actually picking like a good comp here, and they executed it well. Like you said, they probably practiced it all week or something like that, and they were early rotationing Lulu. Lulu's priorities apparently way up.
Yeah, I think they had a good plan in the current patch. They had a good idea for how they wanted to play out the week. They executed it, and it worked out for them.
And even in game one, we did see more proactive shot calling. They did force the Baron when they thought the enemy team didn't have vision. They got an early Baron, and then they grouped up and pushed with it,
Yeah.
which is like better than some teams.
And to be like, and the only problem I had with them before was that I didn't see much proactive play at all. And I think that I don't want to say evolved, but they've progressed to the point where you can consider them somewhat of a threat.
It's a very natural evolution where it's like we don't make calls at all, and then someone is like, hey, maybe we should start doing anything. And now it's like we're making bad plays, but they're working out sometimes, and we're winning games because of it. They're like getting through that phase right now. Yeah. I feel like they didn't make a horrible call this series. Yeah, they're getting through it.
And I think that they have the ability to contest for playoffs. Before,
easily.
I wasn't sure, but today they're looking pretty good.
Yep. So I think that's the final thoughts. CLG just still erratic as hell if they lose a skirmish really badly or not. and then Dignitas starting to look a little bit better.
Right. I mean, the CLG is the type of team where it's like if they group up in five. As 5 people play follow the leader through the jungle, I bet you going through one side of the jungle to the other, you'd lose a person. Like that's what it looks like.
I got a question for you. Since we've both been coaches, if you were CLG, would you stress in practice avoiding early skirmishes, or would you ask for them to force them way more to practice getting better?
You probably have to force.
I agree, actually.
To practice getting better, and you just break down VOD review with it because it's like in the end, it's just about. I don't know how to specifically target this because this was like a problem, but it wasn't a priority when I was coaching because there was just a lot of other problems, honestly. But it'd probably be prioritizing like individual roles, players' roles, jobs in these skirmishes, and being able to like identify what they should have done. You know, rather than being able to break down each individual VOD, be like, you should have gone here in this VOD, you should have gone there, because that's not good for them.
Because these aren't like repeatable situations. It's literally like random fights. How do you play them? Yeah,
and so like the idea of like, oh, you should watch your as the front line, make sure you watch your carries and figure out where the rest of the team is. As the back line, who's the major the threat to you? Like, is it this guy? Make sure you know where everyone is. Stick with your other carries, stuff like that, and have them like constantly reiterate on that.
Right, so I would agree. I'd say just like spam a ton of solo queue, make everyone like play extra solo queue to get their mechanics and like skirmishing better, because that's like one of the few places you can really practice that. Spam a shitload of solo queue, and then in scrims just like fight, just fight. Like, I think CLG is smart enough to understand level 1s and macro strategy.
I don't have a problem with their shot calling, but I have a problem with them just like throwing games away and like
every week.
Yeah, and it like we harp the word consistency a lot of times, and that's a very broad term. In this situation, they just are not skirmishing well, and the consistency for that is
I mean, it's less more just like anyways, that's gonna wrap up that series. Unless you have any final thoughts.
I'm good. Let's move on.
All right, we're gonna move on now into the TSM versus Envy series.
Ooh. This is
the only 3-game series of the day.
And it's TSM.
2-1.
Of course.
But game 1 was a bit of a destruction of TSM. They just got obliterated. Despite the fact that TSM actually started this game great. And we'll get into like the actual plays. And then game 2 and game 3 just felt like TSM were the better team. Kind of like how you expected the series to go if you threw out game 1.
Yes, and even though Envy got leads, or I would say was able to, didn't they get a lead in the third game?
They got a lead generally. It wasn't like a huge lead.
Right, and they weren't able to break the TSM iron wall.
Right, there's this feeling like even when TSM is losing early games, you still usually see the CS numbers high, you see them trading objectives generally, so that way when it crests into that mid game, they're not far enough behind that they can't take fights. They're always in a fightable like gold deficit.
Yes.
Whereas like sometimes you're 4K down, it's like you can't really fight unless the other team fucks up. TSM is never really in that position, it feels like, aside for game 1 where they just got destroyed.
All right, let's bring it back to game 1. All right, first of all, Lyra's a monster.
Lyra is like, I would argue, potentially the best jungler in the LCS.
I think easily top 3 for me. So, and it's really weird. I'm putting a top 3 jungler on a team that's like on the
last place.
Yeah, the last place team. It's very, very strange, but I just watch this guy play. At least watch his early game, because late game I can't put all
It's not good or bad. It's just there.
Yeah, but early game, this guy is making all the action happen around Envy. He destroyed Scarra in this game.
Like this is probably the biggest destruction of a jungler we've had, and we've had some bad ones this year.
Yeah,
like Acadian Dardoch was one,
or like the Meteos into
Smithy.
Meteos into Moon.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty bad. And maybe that one was a little bit worse than this one.
The reason I think this one's worse is because I don't think Sven was particularly playing awful.
No,
I think he just got shit on.
He wasn't like
it wasn't like a dumb invade and then he just face checks and dies. It was like, I'm gonna go snowball my top laner who's already ahead. Oh shit, the Lee's here. Like, I'm dead.
Yeah, I just thought that at every point Lyra had the initial play. He bought early Mobies to be able to run around the map a lot more and created so many fights positively for his team. Like, his bot lane's losing by 10 CS. Who cares, dude? Lyra's here, save the day. If TSM tries a blue buff invade, who cares? Lyra's here, save the day. Top lane play, Lyra's here. Like, this guy is like Superman for his team. At least game 1.
And the way it started too was so bad. Like,
I was so mad with how it started because it was like, we're gonna dive top lane.
At level 3, with no summoner advantage and not even like a health pool advantage. It's like a full health Camille that they're diving with Rumble Lee.
0 hard CC, and they flash a single ability.
And he didn't even need to. They literally just died without him having to flash anything. And then right after that, Bjergsen on Talon makes a roam up to the top side and just repeat kills the Rumble like a minute later. So Rumble's 0-2, burns his TP to get back in the lane.
And that's the point where I'm just like, oh, it's over, you know? Bjergsen got the lead. He's playing Talon great. I actually thought his early Talon play was phenomenal.
He was all over the map.
Yeah, and I thought that his ability to roam, control the map was great. And I was like, great. I love Talon. I love to see Talons pop off. And what do I see? ᵐᵉ, the machine himself, like starts creating plays. And the worst thing that I could see happened this game. So what happens when TSM starts getting behind and Bjergsen is like the only carry threat, one of the only carry threats. Sometimes it looks really desperate for the team.
That's like
I hate this.
It's like literally, okay, my team's losing. I think I can make this play. I'm gonna go for it. And
yeah, it's like 1v3. It's going to exhaust. You're like, I could do this. They're low. I got this. And then he kills 1-for-1 when he's ahead, and they lose all chance of winning.
And the worst example of that was there was a bot lane play. Like Envy ganks bot lane, kills Turtle, I'm pretty sure, and then Bjergsen's like, well, I'm on my way down here, so I may as well kill their support and die for it.
I think he killed Apollo, but he used all his sums to kill Apollo, and then he died in return when he was ahead 2-1 or 2-0.
I think it was 2-0 at that point. He goes to 3-1 or something, and it's just like, all right, great Bjergsen. And then I think like TSM's comp wasn't bad, but I feel like the more control you give TSM, the better they do. So if you give him a tank, great. You give him a control mage, great. You give him 2 AD assassin threats and then like a Ezreal Karma and Elise, like not great.
It's
not great at all.
Very hard lane to play, or hard early game to play.
Right, and so I mean, Envy just like, despite how bad that game started for Envy, ᵐᵉ just like took it over and was he was like 95% of their kill participation. He was like 10 of 11 kills early on. You're just like, oh my god, this guy's a monster, and he carried the game. And then games 2 and 3 happened, and he did fine. Yeah,
I mean, honestly,
he still did well.
Yeah, honestly, games 2 and 3 just felt like TSM's getting back in form and what you kind of expect. The third game, especially when you look at ᵐᵉ on tank. Nautilus in the second game,
his Camille was still nasty. Like, so this is why I say like the more control you give them, the better they do. They're like, all right, maybe you don't get the talent this time. You're gonna play Ryze, Bjerg, and then he plays like a great Ryze games. Uses a couple ultimates to get like stuff done in the side lanes and get a Baron buff. And in the meantime, you know, you also have the Graves a little bit more control-y than the Elise, and they smashed this game.
Yeah, I just think that TSM played back to their usual level. The only thing that worries me about this series, well, one, aside from the fact that I think Envy is better than expectations, is that I don't like having the idea that TSM is a slow starting team, especially in best of series. This is a curse they had a year or two ago, where they would always start slow. And it's like, that's like a luxury you're not able to have. And so it's funny that we get the 3-game series with TSM all the time, but I don't really go into a TSM series and be like, they're going to lose the first game, dude. But they got it. It's easy, dude. They're so good. And it's like right now you're kind of doing that.
Yeah, and I think it's scary given that a lot of the potential bottom teams are like relatively explosive. Because I think we have like a lot more talent in bottom tier teams this year, whereas like previously like the 6th place team was like maybe team 8, and it wasn't like, oh my god, world class talent, this is gonna fucking blow us out of the water. Like your bottom tier team right now is like Flame, Dardoch, Pobelter, which like if they're playing well, might like kill you.
Yeah, you're 1 or 2 skirmishes away from losing any game against a bottom team.
And game 3 was exactly that, where TSM was down about 2 to 3k gold, and then there were just like 4 or 5 skirmishes where they constantly came out even or ahead, and then eventually they blew the game back into their favor. But it was off the back of these like really, really scrappy, not clean at all team fights, which TSM is great at because like individually and mechanically they're so good. So I'm scared a little bit for TSM going forward, but at the same time,
they're a top 2 team. The thing is, if that's my only critique on the team, which aside from the fact that they're slow starting, I think that it's strange to see Bjergsen on off-meta picks at the moment. His play was good, but like you said, like they need more control in their comps, or else it goes all over the place if they start losing control. So I think that's just how it is. Like that's why they look so stable on top lane tanks, because they play at the front to back team fighting and skirmishing super well. Like some of the cleanest in North America. Yeah. And then on the other stuff, it's just coin flips sometimes.
Yeah, and like their Baron control is really good, but if they don't have a tank, like sometimes Sven gets chunked out, and then like it gets weird. So that's why I think like the more control you give TSM's team comp, the better they'll look. But I don't think it's necessarily wrong to try out more carry styles. So like I actually liked ᵐᵉ's Camille a good amount both games. I felt like game 1 they kind of just got rolled through, like ᵐᵉ just out jungling the shit out of.
And game 2 was super close, like level 3 trade. I thought that was gonna go terrible.
I thought he lost that trade.
Yeah, I did too, but it worked out in his favor.
Go creeps. Go, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was able to take over the game. I think that him slowly developing more into the carry style play is good for TSM because they've never been a team that has like multiple layers to them in terms of like their ability to play a lot of different things. And I think that if TSM has that as a threat, then that's like a very powerful thing to have.
Right, and I think especially with how the meta's going, like it feels like we're getting further and further away from tanks. Aside from maybe in the new patch, maybe we'll see some things.
I think Rumble Renekton are kind of like the new OPs or like up and coming like top lane gods.
And Camille kind of fits in there, not as a god, but like as like a still A tier pick.
Yes.
And I think you might see potentially with 7.5, like there's small buffs to the mastery change. I mean, you might start seeing it a little more in the jungle and support.
I just
position.
think that right now with the top lane moving more towards somewhat carry oriented top laners and pressuring top laners, that it's smart of TSM to have Haunter play this kind of carry role.
Yep. So I think that's good. Envy, don't have a ton to say about them this series. It's like they are what we thought they.
I thought they looked better than expected, you know. But they kind of win the same way you think they'll win. You think that they'll win because Lyra pops off early game and they work off Lyra's early pressure to be able to make plays around the map.
Right, and at the same time, Ninja and Seraph are just like super inconsistent. Sometimes, like, you know, Ninja's just killing himself. He did that a couple times today on the Ahri, where it's just like, ooh, I don't know about that one. And so I think that they, you know, they are, we thought, probably missed the playoffs. Don't think they get relegated, and then maybe Lyra goes somewhere else. Hopefully stays in NA. I love watching Lyra, actually. Or maybe MB just upgrades their team. Either way.
I mean, I don't know if I'm willing to count them out so far, but
I think they're too far behind.
Yeah, I think they're trending upward, but they are very, very far.
I think they're in the same boat TL is, where it's like, man, if this was a team from day one, then like they're probably like pushing into the 6th place spot. But right now, I think they're too far down to get like significant, because they basically need to make up 3 games to make playoffs, which is, I think, too hard.
Yeah, I'm just curious who gets into relegations now, because it's really the bottom 4 or 5 teams are very, very, very close.
Speaking of getting into the bottom 5 teams, FlyQuest Immortals. So I know I already ranted really, really hard about FlyQuest.
Let's keep going, dude.
I'm not going to do it again. All right, I have some compassion. I don't think I need to beat a dead team. But this series was a 2-0 for Immortals. Was not close at all. Game 1 featured the Pobelter Flame Show, featuring Katarina and Shen.
Ooh,
and then,
love that pick.
Yep. And then Game 2 was basically just like, I don't even know. Game 2 was just like they killed him like level 2 double kill, and then like they killed him top, and it was like the TL game from the C9 series, but Immortals kept killing them.
I just thought it was usually. I see Fly as a team that tends to flourish in highly chaotic skirmishes, and this was a game where they didn't flourish. They fell flat on their face. Yeah, and like because they forced like a chaotic fight in the bottom jungle and then like around just like the bottom area, and they lost every single one. And it got to the point where I was like, oh, they're losing. Oh, they're losing. Like they're behind 8K goal, like some ridiculous.
That's like scrims. That's like the scrims where it's like, okay, our game started really bad. Rather than try and recover, we're just going to try and like instantly make a play to get back into it. And if it doesn't work, GG, next game. You know, like that was like a scrim style game when you're getting smashed in scrims. That's what that felt like.
I mean, I want to cover the first game, so I think a lot of times Flame like is either late to the fire, or doesn't frontline super appropriately, or doesn't TP super well. I think Shin is a great champion that covers a lot of his problems as a top lane player. And not only that, they set up a good team comp for an assassin. Like when you have a team comp with like Talon, for instance, or Cat, or Fizz, or Echo, having Shen to be able to overlap them as well with Lulu. Look at how many times Shen saved Pobelter's life there. Like so many times. And this is with Pobelter rushing Negatron Mercury Tread, so he doesn't get CC'd. Like it's insane defensively what he had to rush to be able to even make his pick work with the amount of help that he got. And that's the level of team comp you need to be able to run assassins right now.
And I think that speaks a little bit to like my concerns with Immortals, because like if a couple of those plays don't work out, like they get smashed probably. And I think FlyQuest, like I said, is a team that's trending horribly downwards. It's no longer impressive to beat FlyQuest. And ouch, I'm serious. Like it's not like you actually beat a fourth. Like they didn't beat P1. All right, if you beat P1, I'm like a little impressed. They beat FlyQuest, who's 1-6 in the last 4 weeks, whatever it is. They went from 6-1 to 7-7. So like I don't consider that like that impressive. Like statistically, they're likely to lose versus Immortals. So I don't know. I just it was just like a little scary for me watching it from Immortals perspective, where it's like, yeah, they're snowballing, but these plays are close. Like Pobelter starts dying on ᵐᵉᵐᵉ becomes fucking useless. You're putting like all these Shen shields onto this like champion with no gold on it. But because she was snowballing, it was insane.
Yeah, I think that.
I mean, that is the nature of assassins, of course.
I was gonna say like it's in the nature of the assassin role to be sort of feast or famine.
Yep.
And if teams want to run that kind of style, then I think it's okay. You just have to be careful, and that's just the risk you take.
Yeah, and so, yeah, like you said, Game 1 was crazy, Game 2 was crazy. There's, like, not that much to break down from the series. Aside from the fact that FlyQuest did try and play more normal. Because we're talking about, oh, they're doing all these crazy picks. We think it's related to their picks, like the fact that they're losing all these games. They need to settle down off the Mord and stuff. But then they're playing MarkZ, GP Elise, Sivir, Victor. Pretty standard. Next game, Graves, Lulu, Not, Ori, Jhin. Pretty standard. In both games, they got destroyed. So that's why I'm selling my FlyQuest stock. I'm cashed out. I'll take a loss here if they turn it around. I'm fine with that.
Okay. For me, I want to still believe. I'm not sure how much I'm invested, but I think that they're a team that could potentially turn around. But I don't know. Yeah. I want to give them the slightly benefit of the doubt just because I'm friends with them. But I feel like that's not a good analysis to say.
I'm kind of friends with them too, so like I don't want them to like hate me for shitting on them, but like if you just look at the last, 4 weeks, what else can you say?
That's true. I would like to see. I would say on the current route, they have nothing going for them.
Yeah, like before they had crazy shot calling, crazy picks, and good early game.
Yeah.
Now it's like crazy picks, bad shot calling, bad early game. Or maybe the shot calling suffering from the early game deficits that they didn't have previously, but. I don't know. That's like trying to kind of hedge what you're saying here.
Right. And right now, because I don't really like their drafts at the moment, even with crazy stuff, even with normal stuff. Like I think it might be even too late. I don't know why they would pick Victor in the first draft, for instance, because it is a counter pickable team. It sets the enemy up for assassins really easy when they already have Shen showing. And so I think that in a lot of situations, I'm not really impressed. I think that they were a team that picked off by the picks, skirmished well, good early game. Great. Now they're a team that picks off by the picks and then loses, picks normal stuff, kind of loses, and just loses. And so I'm not super fond of the team anymore.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Immortals, you put them 10th last week. I was not down with that.
Okay.
And now they beat FlyQuest.
But is that really impressive?
Not super impressive to me, but... I mean, I just think they're a team that kind of lives and dies pretty fast. Like when Pobelter gets off the ground, Dardoch had some good invades today too. We haven't really touched on Dardoch. He was mostly playing good today. He had that one invade as Gragas where he goes over the wall and the Krugs has to flash out, but he's still aggressive. He keeps up the pressure. He gets a kill on Elise because the Shen TP's on top of him. He was playing Gragas, which was a little bit of a surprise pick. So I thought Dardoch looked better today, and it feels like the team, as long as Dardoch is try-harding and maybe not tilted or whatever, or just having a bad day in terms of his play, the team generally looks, middle of the pack, and when he looks bad, they look bad. You're still not sold on Immortals at all?
That's not true. I think I love what I saw today, actually. I saw a mid laner that's been underperforming pop off today with the help of his team. I saw bot lane solo kill the other bot lane. They did really well. I saw their top lane. I saw Flame get to team fights, have huge team impact on the game. He had that one ulti on blue buff, TP down bot lane. Whoa, what a player.
That was all over the map kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then you have Dardoch doing good invades and not killing himself. And so this is the ideal situation I see Immortals in. I don't want to say I bought on the Immortal train.
Yeah, me neither.
Right? This is a team where it's we know they're inconsistent. I don't want to say of course they're going to be great, because very easily the next series could be, they're Immortals. Shit.
Yep.
Why'd I even trust? So one series is not enough to swing me, but I liked what I saw.
Yep, me too. We'll move on to the last series then, since we seem to be in agreement there, which is P1 versus Echo Fox. So this was a 2-0 for P1, but Game 1 had Meteos, and Game 2 had Inori. Game 1, mostly a stomp. Arrow kind of set up the game for Meteos to take over, and then Meteos did take it over, and then from there it was basically just those two crapping on kids. We saw Zig play Kled again, whatever, great. Game 2 featured Inori. It's a different jungler for them. They played Kha'Zix, which, for the most part, Meteos has been staying away from carry-oriented junglers, forces Zig back onto a tank. Much slower, much more hard-fought game. Echo Fox looked okay. but still not enough. And then Arrow makes big plays and they win the game.
It's funny to me because every week Meteos looks better and better.
Yeah.
And Nori came in this week and I'm like, I wonder how he's going to play. He hasn't played in a while. Oh, it turns out not very good. He jumped into 2 different team fights where he killed himself. And as Kazakhstan, that's one of the things that's like kind of hard to see, but like that's not something you can afford to have happen in an LCS game. You know, on top of the fact that it tends to put their top laner away from his more comfort style picks, like sure, Meteos plays Zac, which is super awkward, really weird, like not really meta, but good enough to like pass off, and their top laner can play like his ideal pick.
Yeah.
But I just think that in terms of level of play, Meteos right now is playing better than Nori.
Yeah, and I think it is a little bit of a combination where like Meteos probably helps in terms of like because he's more control-oriented jungler, and I feel like Ryu's pretty aggressive, and Zig isn't like super aggressive, but he is a playmaker for the most part, and then Arrow's obviously relatively aggressive. So I think having Meteos be like a more control, like you don't need another aggressive player, whereas like Inori is generally another aggressive player, right? And then obviously the picks change, and you have to stick Zig on tanks. So like I feel like not only might Meteos just be straight up playing better, but I think he kind of does fit with the team style a little bit.
I don't know if I'm completely sold on that. I just think the level of play is very off. You know, right now I'm not sold that Meteos is like the better style player for the team because like. Just look at what happened game 1. He played Zac, a pick that's not very good at skirmishing middle. He did something that not many people do ever. He full cleared the jungle. And this is something that I saw.
But he easily can get punished.
Yeah, that's something where like if the other jungler knows where he starts, he can punish you so hard. And what did Acadian do? Oh, this is so funny. Acadian kind of mind games himself because he's like, okay, well, I know that he's probably gonna do like 2 camps red, and then he's gonna go blue side and do those camps. So I'm gonna take my jungle and then go into his jungle and take his Krugs. And so he walks into his jungle, takes the blast plant over, looks at the Krugs. He's like, where are they? And so he like. Meteos out levels an Olaf, which shouldn't really happen, but like does, and I'm just like, did Acadian play that bad? He just got mind games so hard. So I just think that Meteos kind of lucked out there. Acadian made the plays top and mid lane, but Meteos was able to farm well to 6, and then because bot lane sumps were blown, and because it's Ashe, they were able to pink ward the bush, and then Meteos jumps in and kills everyone.
Right. So I actually just touching on the Echo Fox side a little bit. I thought Echo Fox looked like the more realistic version of what that team is. Where like Acadian and Froggen didn't play that bad today, and Froggen in particular played pretty well. He's the best performing member on the team right now. Acadian's back down to earth, but still like generally a good jungler. But that's not enough for this team to win, and that's the kind of scary thing. Because like in the first game, his Olaf sure like he didn't manage to punish the Zac quite what he was planning to do, but he forced around top and mid for mostly profitable plays. But that's not enough to win, and like. Looper was once again like not a good front line for the most part in this series. Their bot lane got destroyed by Arrow and Stunt. And then in game 1, Meteos punishes that with like that early gank in the bottom. They absorb the pressure for the first like 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you know Zac starts being really annoying, and then they kind of like win the game really hard.
Win. Like I'm looking at that game and I'm just like, there's a lot that Echo Fox can do, right? So let's say you blow your son's bot lane, like what's the like. I think a lot of teams are really stuck in the idea of like, okay, we're laning, and something's going to happen to make sure we're not laning. Usually the something is the jungler. And so I feel like that's very much true for a lot of the teams relying on junglers is like, we lane till the jungler forces a lane to break, and then we stop laning. But this is a team where it's like, okay, what happens when you get your summoners blown?
Go top.
Lane? Yep, you just rotate top. What does Kled do? In a 3-man standoff,
watches it, throws a bear trap, does like 150
damage.
damage.
It does 100 damage, and then they try lane top tower down, and they could have easily done it, right?
Right, that's what they should have done.
Yeah, it was something that like Zac can't even stop that with Kled. Like I'm pretty sure they just get 3-man and die. If the jungler's up there, that's a 4-man play right there to get first tower. But it's like not something that you really see Echo Fox doing much. Yeah. It's really just the reason why it's the Acadian show early is because you're literally waiting on Acadian to do stuff so that they can stop laning. Yeah, I think that's like a really bad crutch for that team.
Right. I think that's the problem is like Looper doesn't smash lane unless it's like singed apparently or like a specific matchup. Their bot lane generally loses, mid lane generally wins, and then like Acadian sometimes makes plays. And if the plays that he's making aren't big enough to blow the game open, they'll lose over time. And they don't make any complicated kinds of plays to offset any potential deficits. So like if Froggen loses lane all of a sudden because he gets like camped, like I mean that's probably
that's game over.
Yeah, if their bot lane starts getting smashed, like probably game over. Game 2 was a little different, but it didn't really feel like it was because of that. Like Looper got first blood, And then they kind of dove bottom to punish the roaming support, but the roaming support was still doing stuff. So, like, for the most part, P1 wasn't turning plays. And like you said, Honori did not play well in the early game.
Yeah, I thought that, sure, they converted a lot of good kills early off of, like, catching Honori.
Yeah, like
Honori got caught in top river, and then they were able to make plays off of that. But eventually it got to the point where this is something to talk about. Stunts, ability to play non-Nami champions came into effect here.
Like hyper supportive champions.
Yeah, sure. I just said that.
You said non-Nami. I mean, like Karma. I'm sure Adrian can play the Lulu.
Yeah, okay. But
I've seen him play Alistair and Leona 3 years ago.
Okay, but I think that him having the flexibility to have Taric means that even though their jungler was an aggressive style jungler, they took some of the front line and like tanky capability onto the support role and to be able to deny the other team's pick potential. I think that's pretty good. I think the fact that Stunt can play Taric is really good for them. You know, I think that overall Stunt had a good showing for P1, really good actually. And
I'm not as hot on Stunt. I think he like did some things well and some things really bad. Like he tried to look for a lot of plays. It's great, Stunt. Keep looking for plays. I love it. But they were bad. They were bad at they were bad.
Oh, guys, his
flash stuns
were poorly executed, to say the least.
And they weren't terrible ideas.
Yes, I like the fact that he looked for them, but I agree. Like, I'm not saying this guy is like Smoothie level at the moment, but I'm just saying that like
he's a more Smoothie styled support than he is like a bio. So like if Smoothie is like the ultimate kind of like flexible, do what he needs to, can make plays, shot calling, blah blah blah, all around great support, and then you have like Biofrost, who's like more supportive but can still kind of do everything as well. Like he's much more in the Smoothie tree.
Right. I think that that's great for Arrow because it means that they can actually lane. So like they can play an aggressive lane, which means that they can unlock Arrow earlier into the game, rather than being like, okay, when's the Arrow effect come in? About 20, 25 minutes? Now the Arrow effect can come in at like 10.
Yeah.
And I think that makes P1 a more difficult team to deal with.
I agree 100%. You can actually counterpick a bot lane and like punish a pick rather than just like, oh, we'll play Nami into it and go even and like maybe have a little bit of pressure. So that was a big thing. And then this game, in game 2, it was really close. Froggen was playing well, and then like Arrow just like forced Keith's sums randomly mid lane, and then they just TP flank killed him, like kind of blew the game open, but their shot calling and playmaking didn't seem as good.
And it looked like Froggen got really frustrated. I'm gonna flash and make the solo play. It's like, wait, you're flashing into the exhaust with Taric, and then he tried to do it, didn't work out, and it's like, oh, I guess we just lose.
Yep, just lost the game.
And so it just seemed like a really like a tilt play, like a frustration play. And that just kind of described the game to me, where it was just like you knew P1 was going to win eventually because at some point their carries just become too good.
Yeah, and I thought, touching on a Stunt point, his ultimates were really good. His ultimates generally negated like a Syndra ult or like a counter engage after they already like engaged on their own. So generally speaking, his ults were really good. It was more his playmaking, flashing, going for stuns that I didn't love. But like I said, I'd rather see him going for those than not.
True, fair enough. It's only been 1 week since he's played on P1. On Dig, he kind of shared the spot. He played 1 week, but it was a lot worse because it was his first play. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what happens next week.
Yep, definitely has a chance to keep proving himself. I mean, P1 pretty much 100% guaranteed for the playoffs in our minds, but
they're great. I think with carry caliber of Arrow and Ryu being consistent, I think that they have. Oh, and honestly, Zig is playing very well.
Zig's out of his mind right now.
Yeah, and so I think with the lanes that they have right now, they are easy lock-in for playoffs.
Yeah, Ryu game 2 was not impressive at all. The Ari pick was pretty sketch, but
I mean, usually this guy is kind of consistent. Like I've always kind of thought
he's hot and cold.
Yeah, I've always kind of thought that his lane phase wasn't very good, but his team fight's okay, like above average, I would say.
Yeah.
But right now, it really seems like the carry comes from Zig and Arrow, which is surprising because Zig would not be your first mention for top laners this season.
Do you remember the Cassio ult in game 1? And you were like, man, Meteos is the 3-man Cassio. Like Ryu's still a playmaker, dude. Don't give me like Ryu hasn't changed. It's just harder to notice him because Meteos and Zig are stepping up. I wouldn't say my opinion on Ryu has changed at all from
my opinion has stayed the same, but
yeah.
My opinion has been like probably a little bit more negative than yours.
Maybe.
I don't think Ryu, like for instance, if you mark Ryu as like a top 5 mid laner, I would say he'd be at the bottom 5. Bottom of the top 5.
The only reason I probably put him a little higher, and this is more kind of like that intangible category, is that from what I heard, he's a great communicator and a great shot caller, which is something that's very useful.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. Okay, is that it?
Yeah, that's about all I got. I think we're going to open it up now to questions. So we're going to have a little Q&A section. Josh, why don't you come up here and tell people how to get their questions read out and all that jazz.
All right, I'm going to move
Here's some
over
space
a
for
little
you.
bit, create some space.
Create some space.
Doing something that frontliners usually can't do.
Not an
Very
NA.
Jesus.
Jeez.
All right, so this is going to be the start of our Q&A. Do you remember that guy who got upset at us?
Because I said QA?
Yeah.
No, it's our quality assurance section.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is our
when you
Q-
tell us what
quality
you
assurance.
didn't like, what
Yep.
you want us to improve on. It's very important.
And then
No,
we don't
fuck
listen.
that. We don't care about your
Yeah,
opinions.
yeah,
We just
yeah.
want your questions. All right, so we have a question from White Tiger 379. Is Keen starting to look like a top 5 mid laner right now?
No! Nope. Nope. Just leave it there.
I don't think he has quite been able to be consistent enough for you to be able to claim that.
Keen's always been like the most random as hell mid laner, and he's still the most random as hell mid laner, and the team is on a general upswing, so
Yeah.
he's looking a little better than he did, but he looked like number 8 in the LCS at points this season.
Yes, and I think that it's really hard for you to be like, wow, this guy's so good when his competition is very, very good.
Yeah.
Next question at Vadmo Money. Which champions do you think benefit the most from the creation of Stoneborn Pact? My picks are Trundle and Braum. Do you guys know about Stone?
Olaf.
I think Braum was one that I'm...
Can you explain what it is?
It's 5% bonus health,
Yes.
bonus max health, and then it is on slows and movement and pairing abilities, you targets who auto attack them heal
Based on your...
based on your percent health, right?
Yes. So it works really well for champions like Kench, champions like Braum, champions like Olaf, champions like Nunu. If you play any of these 4 champions, you should be very happy. It's kind of like a mini Straight to the Ages, is what QD like to call it. And I think that if it fills the role of picking it on some bot lane tank supports.
So, I mean, ideally, so something like Alistar is not useful. You want it on things that you can kind of harass in lane to get the most out of, or you have repeatable slows and things like that.
Tank Karma, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, shit, you hit your Q enough. Let's go.
I don't know.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, that's the general idea from what I've seen or what I heard. I haven't watched a ton of solo queue. I don't watch streams. It's generally a waste of time.
Damn.
Why are you looking
He
at
says
me?
your stream is a waste of time. He says your stream is a waste of time, you know?
I mean, I
Think
agree
about
with that one, but mine? Come on.
But yeah, Trundle obviously could benefit from it with just his slows and shit. But I don't know.
What do you guys think about the double streams on LCS? This is a question asked by @TrickyWalrus1.
What do you mean?
The fact that there's 2 streams going on at once.
I personally don't like it.
I personally think it's fine.
Okay, so the reason why I don't like it is because ever since last year as an interviewer, I prefer to watch every single game in the LCS and commit my full time into watching them. But this time I have to be like, what are you doing here? What are you I have 2 tabs open being like, what's happening here? What's happening here? What's happening here? What's happening here? Especially when the first series goes on. And so when I run shows like this and people are like, what's your analysis on this game? Sometimes I give shallower analysis because I can't focus that much with dual games running.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I just don't like it as much.
So I would generally agree on most of the points he made there. It's definitely a lot harder to follow
up with
jungle
everything,
routing or
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Why exactly did that play happen that way? These summoners were down at this time because of this thing, and you miss out on some details like that. But I think from a viewer perspective, minus the kind of hardcore fans, there's generally a better match to watch on average. Because there's more games and they're playing simultaneously. So if you're stuck on a really shitty day,
Yeah.
Unless one of the streams end early and you're forced to watch Echo Fox Immortals, I think was last week. There was a brutal series, some brutal series like that.
Yeah.
You get less of those,
Yeah.
and I think the benefits that come from having a best of 3 offset the slightly worse.
I mean, Europe has best of 3s now too, right?
They have best of 3s, but they cut their
It's over
schedule.
4 days.
It's over 4 days, and they cut their schedule. So would I prefer that? And go to best of 1 streams, maybe, or not best of 1 streams, but 1 stream,
Right.
potentially. I like having more games. I like
Yeah.
having best of 3s and that kind of stuff. I think that's so important for viewers. I just don't want to watch a best of 1 where it's there's Mordekaiser Nautilus, that was
I
random.
actually think best of 3s is worse for viewers, personally speaking. So, I think it depends. I think in general, for people who just like to watch one team play, this setup is great because you get to just focus on the teams that you want to play and you get to see them play for longer. But in my case, the new best of 3 system, this whole thing, I would just spend my weekends watching LCS. And it's kind of hard now because there's too much to pay attention to, and if there's a series I don't care about, I just fall asleep. So
Yeah, I think from a viewer standpoint, Definitely for me, it's not as good. But I can understand why other people might like it.
I don't think for the average fan it's necessarily even better either, but I think it's a lot better for teams. And stuff.
I mean,
it's competitively better to have best of threes, right?
I guess I'm more toward the super fan because I watch every game. So.
Well, so even as a super fan, I don't mind because during the week I'll be like, oh, here's a Blame Game episode. I need to watch 6 games back anyways. So like the fact I'm doing that already means like I watch every game and then I generally rewatch probably close to half the series.
Right, but I think that's easier when you're making content like that. Isn't immediate.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying like anyone should be on this level. Like,
right. I'm just saying like in terms of like when we come back from PLT and we're just like, so what happened during that one series? The first series that happened, 2 best stuffs, and we're just like, so what was the rally from the first player? And it, like we don't know.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's so important because what does TL have over other teams? What does Reignover have over other players? His routing early is phenomenal.
Yeah, and if you want to do like a detailed breakdown of that, you basically need to like exclusively watch that game.
Yeah, and if you're just like, so how did TL get the lead early? You have to be like, well, Reignover probably created it because he routes like a monster.
Yeah. All right, let me answer some of you guys because I know you guys are all LCS nerds. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this show. I'm just saying that it's just.
Everyone, tell these two they're idiots. They're wrong. I'm right. That's what it comes down to.
Next question.
I think best of threes are objectively better. Anyways, so everyone talks about how Envy's early game is good. What are the consistent actions that they take that makes it that way? This is by @SCharky
Lyra's like old Reignover, basically, where like he paths really well, so he always has good CS. And then he often is able to predict what the enemy wants to do and counter that play. So like he went Moby Boots, Lee Sin, out-farmed the Elise, and still countered her everywhere she went and was often at the play first.
So that's what action they're taking. They have the jungle that's good. Like, yeah. I'm serious.
You think that, so does that mean that in general, if your jungler is good, your early game is good?
There's almost no team with a great jungler that's early game was bad. Like one was Echo Fox at their best despite being like a pretty team, like synergy-wise. When Acadian was popping off. FlyQuest, Moon.
When did TL win games? When they were complete garbage.
Well, so
when Graves was like 9-0, or Reignover was 9-0.
Let me posture this, though. Like, for teams that just have better laners than the other teams, right, your jungler doesn't need to be that good to upset that. So, like, for teams such as C9, we say Contract's really good. He hasn't been, like, an outstanding player as of late. I think he gets a lot of benefit of the doubt because his laners are so good.
Right, but that's a rare exception as opposed to... Yeah.
But so that's why I'm saying that I'm trying to get clear here about like can you just objectively say that if your jungler is good, you have a good early game no matter what?
No, you can't say that because like we're talking about Lyra potentially being one of the best junglers, and like you can have a good jungler. Like a Contracts, I would say is a good jungler, but if you put them on Envy, they're garbage. Right. That's a garbage ass team, and I think. You can't just be like, oh yeah, you have a good jungler, your early game's good. I mean, like Envy solo laners, as inconsistent as they aren't like complete messes.
Yeah.
They kind of are.
Okay, so if you rate Envy solo laners in top
anything above top 7, no.
Yeah,
I don't.
So it's like okay, with bottom 3 solo laners, Lyra is able to carry a lot of the early game pressure. That's something you should keep in mind. Like this guy is actually that good.
And I think you can see it in the reverse, like C9, like great solo laners, and then like Contracts has more room to work and stuff like that, but. I think it's easier for a bad jungler or a good jungler to influence a bad team's early game than it is for a bad jungler to like, you know what I'm saying? Like good solo laners control an early game because a solo laner is mostly dictated to his single lane, so it's a little harder.
I think, I kind of see where it's going.
Like if you put the best mid laner on the worst team in Envy, they probably don't look as good as having the best jungler.
Ooh.
Oh,
that's actually tough.
It's very difficult. I would say any other role than mid.
Maybe any other role than mid.
Mid is like the god role.
Yeah.
Well, so like, but like, I don't think Jensen would like maybe Bjergsen because he's like generally like more of a shot caller, more of a leader.
It would have to be like a faker level mid laner.
Yeah.
And so like because someone who can do like it all, and then that way I think you can out influence jungle, but mid lane right now is literally a combination of the mid and jungle.
Yeah.
And so. But definitely, if you're comparing like top to jungle role, easily give me jungle 10 times out of 10.
Yeah. All right. So this is from @DJFreddy101. Who do you recommend for any lane role, any champ to one trick in order to get out of low elo hell?
What the fuck is this? This is a competitive show, dude. What are you? Isn't there like a million streamers you watch like every
We
day?
answered a
You can
question
ask
about lingerie last week.
Yeah, that
Whatever.
was funny and related to our show. This is just asking like random people.
Okay,
Mark is just salty because he actually can't play the
my
game.
My real
so
statement is it doesn't matter what you play. The problem with
be better than Mark.
yeah, the problem
is you don't play the fucking game enough. That's what your problem is. You probably play like 4 ranked games a day and you don't like think about what's going
Probably
wrong.
not.
Yeah, I mean not even 4 ranked games a week. I meant
Yeah.
like that's what I was about to say. Like you don't play enough to get good and you're not critical
Yeah.
enough of your own play.
yeah, the champion itself is not the problem. It's the person using it.
Yeah.
Don't ask me random
damn,
shit.
dude,
Solo.
you're getting, like, flushed
this
in
is
the
this
face.
is like
Holy
the
shit.
troll ass question that every streamer complains about this question. What champ should I play to get better at this game? It's like you're bad at the game, not the champ. Everyone can play that champ. So like the fact that you're awful, the champ's not awful.
Just give him something, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, play Lee Sin.
There you go. Boy.
Alrighty.
Next question.
At
Make it
Hello
good.
Hi Hi 145 asks, why is CLG the definition of inconsistency in the dictionary right now?
Oh well, it's just what we brought up, right? There is not inconsistency is a very broad term. We think that right now that they're playing poorly because their ability to skirmish well is not very high, and that's a really big problem for them. And it's been a consistent problem throughout the entire season. And it's been overshadowed by some of their good shot calling and better map play. And I think right now it's at the point where it's like, well, we can definitively say it's a problem.
Yeah, I think the slower the game is, the better it looks for CLG generally. They have smart plays, like times when their bot lane falls behind, they swap their bot lane to top side. Like, oh, what a really smart rotation. You know, glad to see them doing that. Jungle pathing sometimes good. Baron plays are sometimes fine. Still a little inconsistent there, but it feels like any time between 10 and 20 minutes, there's like a really high chance they get into a random fight and they lose it hard. And that's why they're so inconsistent, because if they get through that 10 to 20 minute mark, mostly even without getting crushed, they're fine. And even sometimes when they do get crushed, they still play the 20 like to 50 minute mark.
Really well.
Even that TSM series where we talk about them getting destroyed, game 1, they actually held on for a super long time with an awful comp as well. So like it feels like if they even when they do get smashed sometimes, it's not that bad.
All right, next question. At Swampfire, after EU LCS's recent remake, what are your thoughts on the LCS rules for when a game is over? Teams can request a remake due to bugs unless one team has over 33%. I don't know these.
So there's a couple rules behind
So
it.
33% gold lead, 7 towers differential, or 2 inhibs differential.
7 towers differential. Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude,
So like basically what the rule is in layman's terms, like this game has to be like straight dead done. Like
Yeah.
like FlyQuest versus Immortals done. Like that's the kind of done you need to be.
Dignitas versus CLG done.
Yeah, like that needs to be like just game needs to be over. Like so unless it's that, a remake can be offered. I kind of agree with it. I mean, it's like bugs are just a shitty situation. You'll never end up with one where it's like, oh yeah, great, this bug happened, but our rules are perfectly in place and no one will be angry.
Yeah.
Like that's just not ever gonna happen.
Yeah, and I think on a case by case basis, it's like there's a god rule. For instance, they can overturn this ruling.
Is there?
Yes, there's a god rule in all of this stuff. I'm pretty sure. Is there a god? Is
I
there
have
a
no
god
idea.
rule?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah.
Really? It used to be that a lot of the old Riot stuff had god rules where it's like,
How old are we talking?
oh, maybe like season 3.
Things have changed a lot since
Yeah,
then.
yeah. So
but,
maybe.
but can you explain the God rule?
So a god rule is essentially that at any point an official like person can overturn the rule book. Assuming like a lot, obviously,
A lot of
like,
extenuating circumstances
Extenuating
that- yeah.
circumstances, like they get the final say.
Right.
So yeah, let's say if someone found a loophole that where they could play with a 6th person on the field, like, and it's completely legal, they would just be like, all right,
Well, there's no rule for that.
yeah,
So
yeah, it would just be like,
Some
all
guy
right.
brings in a 6th laptop, hacks the
that'd
game.
be so funny. Just like some random in the crowd, like on his phone, is like
Yeah, it's like
playing
okay,
like Vainglory. Like,
well, you're not allowed to do that, and so that's why like the God rule exists essentially. And so I don't know if they still have that anymore. It's probably been way more professional than when I saw it, and so I think that it's just there. You know, it sucks that in this situation they lost the series, but I mean, at the moment, I think that it's just a case by case basis.
sure.
Okay. At Andrew Uriarte asks, what do you think, in a brief statement, if FlyQuest needs to improve to be back into their week 1 through 4 state?
It's hard to say because I think a lot of us are saying like, oh, they're just picking too much weird stuff. Get rid of the Mordekaiser. Get rid of the Shakos. Get rid of the.
And they did.
And they did, and they still got kind of got
sucked,
crushed.
yeah.
So I don't know if morale's bad on the team right now. If they just don't know what they want to play. it's a little hard from the outside to say because it just feels like out of nowhere their early game just started being really bad.
Yeah, and they're a team that if you're playing like other picks, that you're playing like kind of strange. I think them having a strong early game kind of buffered a lot of their weaknesses because their shot calling from like the while ahead is really good.
Yeah.
And so if they can't ever get ahead, shot calling from behind is a terrible situation. It's just very hard.
Yeah. It's always hard to shot call from behind for anyone, and then like their style of like playmaking is just like, well, try it. Well, let's just go for it. And I mean that doesn't get you back. It's hard to come back in games generally, but that's one that like if you mess that second play up, you're so far behind, you're getting blown apart.
Right. So do you think like FlyQuest in general is kind of like fraudulent then? Like, do they use?
He said straight up.
I mean, so I think fraudulent is like a pretty good term here because like FlyQuest has picked these weird picks. Is it to shore up, like use weird matchups to throw people off? Shot call for these things that are 50-50s, but if they work in your favor, you start to blow up in the game. Like. Maybe like the 50-50 situations aren't working out for them anymore. Now that they're forced to play more meta stuff, like maybe they actually never were able to play. So some of those questions, like, do you think we have any sort of leeway?
I think they're definitely not a top 3 team at the moment. And they'd probably be around. You put them at 8. I'd put them around
like 7, 8.
Yeah.
I mean, not too far.
What a fall!
Great. Yeah, I mean they're 1-6 right now. I could easily see a world where like they just go back to playing mostly the same stuff. Zed. I have no problem with Zed. That's not like that crazy.
That's not really off meta.
It's one of his best picks.
Yeah, and like so if they go back to like that style, maybe they're getting some like assassin versus assassin matchups. Who knows? Like LeBlanc's dead on the next patch too. You don't know like what's going to change necessarily. So I'm a little like still. They can turn around and start being good shot callers again, but I don't think they ever climb back in the top 2, and I don't know if they ever start beating P1 again.
Right. Okay. At nothing to it XS, who has the best front to back team fighting in the league? On a side note, are you guys doing PLT for playoffs as well? And let's explain what front to back team fighting actually means.
So let's start with yes, we'll be doing PLT for playoffs.
Yep.
Yes.
Front to back team fighting is basically. The 2 front lines are standing right in front of each other.
Tank, jungler.
Yep, and then the 2 back lines are standing behind their front lines, and basically everyone's just hitting tanks, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So already, I'm just gonna say it's probably C9 or TSM.
It's between C9 and TSM easily.
They have the best. Like it's mainly because they not only have the best like backline threats. It's usually that their front line can play the game.
A big thing about front to back team fighting is that you need to know like exactly how to space so you don't get auto attacked constantly and like hit with every single spell available. Like just dodging a couple so you don't die. And then also oftentimes like the front to back team fighting is fine, and then like you need to like find a way to kind of make something happen.
Yeah.
So like you'll chunk out the back line through like a Varus arrow. Like you'll shoot it through the front line. Like there's a lot of situations like that pop up.
I think it's TSM if Hunter's on a tank.
Yeah.
And if that's not the case, then I might give it to C9.
I think it is basically between those 2 teams, and I think it like in the hypothetical it comes down to like whichever comp I'm looking at that day.
Yeah.
So like if both teams are playing well and you have Ori Maokai versus like Echo Shen, I would probably give it to TSM to play that team fight better. But then again, Echo Shen's not really like a front to back team fight team comp, is it? No. That's much more of like a
I think both of the team have top laners are really good at frontlining with tanks. But I think you take a tank away from them.
I might give it maybe to TSM just because I would expect Sven to generally outperform contracts. I think that might be the one position where like if it's like, Lee and Elise or Lee Kha'Zix or something, like I think generally either side of that matchup I would expect Sven to play a little bit better, but I don't know. Because contracts does have a nasty Lee, so like it's tough.
I guess it would just depend. I think we'll see because the next time they play against each other, they're probably gonna be playing front.
We didn't mention this team, but I also would
back.
like to consider P1. I think they're pretty good front to back. I just think that Arrow is really good from the back line, and Zig plays pretty well.
There's a difference between Arrow being very good and Zig being very good. They have the best front.
I'm not saying that. I don't think that they're better than whatever, but I think like I would like to mention them because I think that their backline's really good and their front line plays pretty well.
Right, but it's just I don't think that they're at the level.
Yeah, just individually, if you look at their rosters, they're not as good, so it's hard to say, right? Like if you're looking at a team fighting comp, you're generally looking at like the 5 best players on that roster.
I think a big thing for the other 2 teams is that like when they mess up their engages in the front to back team comps, they don't end up in a really bad spot. Whereas I feel like I see that with P1 sometimes, where like Meteos is just in a really bad spot after missing his engage or something like that. Whereas like Hauntzer, like even in the series that they played today, they would like shoot the ash arrow, miss their like Nautilus
and then run back,
and then they just back off and like, okay, we didn't fuck that up, and that's an important part of like, oh shit, we engaged, but we didn't fuck ourselves.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of what COG does, which is like they'll engage and like they'll like brute force it, and then they'll be, oh wait, we lost that. That's so weird.
Yeah.
All right, so Mark, you can probably talk a little bit about this. At Clentel's asked, knowing what 2 challenger teams will be in the promotion tournament, what are the chances bottom 2 actually get relegated?
Pretty low. Pretty low. So E United plays really aggressive around their mid jungle, and it's like a lot of 1-3-1ing, and they play like Rise, and then like their top laner is typically on tanks, and like it's like a fine team, and they're smashing challenger a little bit, but it's like individual play. I don't know if they could stack up against like a TL or like Envy.
LCS is stacked. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if you guys realize, like, trying to beat even the last place team right now, it's not a guarantee that the first place team doesn't lose like a game against the last place.
I mean, we just saw Envy beat a TSM in 1 game.
So historically, the worst team in the LCS has around a 10% win rate in terms of games, whether it's best of series or whatever. The worst place team is usually like 1-16. You know, like 1 and whatever, 3 and like 20 something. Like back when there were way more games, like it was always an awful win rate. And right now, Envy, I think, is the worst game record, and they're at like 30%. So just generally speaking, the bot end of the LCS right now is not that bad.
Mm-hmm. All right, give us one more question, Josh.
One more question? Okay.
Make it a good one.
Make it a great one.
Make it a great one.
Oh, God. A lot of it is just like, do you think this person should be benched? Who is the best player in this role?
Yep. That guy.
What is the mastery thing,
the one at the bottom. The keystone.
Jesus Christ, I have no idea. Mark, how many times did you come for arrow today?
I mean, you can probably tell me. I don't know. I wasn't. Were you counting?
It's just like, honestly, the word
hashtag nut for arrow.
Yeah, the word arrow just like gets him going. Like,
yeah, can we actually stop talking about it?
Like it's actually ridiculous. I mean, honestly, if you watch his games, you'd understand.
Yeah, he's like close. He's basically MVP in my mind. Like, I've seen enough of him over the course of the year with only 2 weeks left now for P1 that like, unless he hard chokes and like forces them into a bad playoff matchup, I think he's like basically locked up MVP for me.
Ooh.
All right, let me just throw a random question out here. Who's better, NA or EU?
Oh god, this is such a bad question.
It's such a bad question.
All
but
right,
like literally, I was like looking through 10 questions, and they're all
going.
like mastery related.
We'll answer this
like,
one while you try and find one that's like.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be great. Scarra was lying when he said find a great question. Find any question.
So
just look at the bottom 4 teams. They're combined, like their game record between the bottom 4 teams has less wins than the worst place in NA.
yes,
is wave clear creep a problem in competitive play?
that's actually
That's not the worst question.
actually
But that's
not
like a
bad.
systems question, right? Like it's like people value no matter what, they're going to value wave clear because it allows you to do more. on the
So
map.
to tangent off this a little bit based off wave clearing, one of the big problems I had with FlyQuest comp when they had Mordekaiser and Maokai and Nautilus and what was the jungler at the time? It was another melee. They have 4 melees and like a ranged champion, and you can't win the game like that because from so many situations you have such low like ability to impact whatever's happening. So like you can't wave clear well with that. You can't siege well with that.
I think it's possible depending on the champions, but you can't play into stuff that automatically destroys low range threats, low range and mobile threats.
I mean, like if they have wave clear, like a Victor E, and you're Mordekaiser, Nautilus, this thing, and then they're grouped up, so their front line's kind of blocking for the Victor. He just shoots an E at the wave.
Right, but it's like, okay, well then maybe you're better at being able to contest like dragons as the Baron objective. Maybe you could split push, right?
Often not, because you generally when you're lower range, you have less tools for vision control. Like you don't have as good check.
Right.
You have like you can't just put an Ori ball in there. You can't shoot a Victor. Like, things don't give you vision from like Maokai Sapling's a great. That's why Maokai is actually really insane in a lot of situations. Is because he has so much utility from a non-tank perspective. Stuff like that is underappreciated in non-competitive settings that people don't talk about. And so when you end up with an all melee comp, like Nautilus can't face check anything. Mordekaiser can't, like he can face check through like his force, but he can't like throw a sapling out. He can't do this that kind of thing. Ori ball and like it's very few champs he can. And so I think you end up really disadvantaged in a number of situations you wouldn't normally think about, and it becomes like exponentially harder to play the game out without significant wave clear.
Yeah, I just think like
In range.
from a competitive standpoint, like wave clear enables you to do all those things, right? Like Dragon, Baron, like if your team clears faster than they do, then they have to deal with the wave before contesting the Dragon or Baron. Like
All range comps viable, all melee comps unviable.
yeah, like it just. And, like, just from an objective point of view, too, like, if your goal is to get to the Nexus, wave clear gets you there, right? Like, I just think,
Or stops them.
Yeah, wave clear is just way too valuable.
I think wave clear is a very valuable
Just
trait
too
to have.
valuable.
I think there are situations where you could pick melee threats.
Having a melee threat is different from having no range. Where like that game, they had 4 melees. It's so hard to like. They would group up with like a 2K, like a 1,000, 2,000 gold lead. The wave just get cleared in front of them. They had to back off. If you go back and rewatch that game, it happened like 2 or 3 times. And if you have that lead with like a real bot lane, you start like hitting the mid turret, and they couldn't do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Rewatch that game, friend.
All right.
Okay.
So, anyways, that wraps it up for today, guys. So, come back tomorrow because we'll be doing a power rankings, and it should be interesting considering how many upsets there were.
Yeah, our power rankings are going to shoot some teams very far down.
So, again, yeah, guys,
some teams very far up.
Follow all the social media that you guys see on the screen, and also for post-league times, we'll have some stuff up tomorrow, hopefully. I don't know.
Okay.
So,
anyways, thank you guys for watching.
tell them where you can find the VODs as well.
Oh, you can find the VODs on my YouTube the day after. Sometime between like 10 a.m. and noon, it'll be uploaded. We're looking at getting timestamps for the videos as well. I know a lot of people have been asking for them, and honestly, like my editor just kind of forgot for the last one, so it's no big deal. We'll try to get them up tomorrow or the day after. So today's will be up tomorrow morning, and tomorrow's will be up Monday morning. Anyways, you can find the YouTube in the description. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow for the power rankings.